Gotta make sure the audio is not muted. There we go. Okay. Hey guys, episode 48 here, as I'm maybe not wanting to put my hands in front of the camera. I moved my camera so I may look a little bit different, like, as I move around here. I had to because, I looked tired the whole time. Half the time my eyes were closed because my camera was too low, or too high, rather. I just need to remember not to put my hands in front of it. So, yeah, if I ever spaz out like this, that means that my hands are there. But, yeah, anyway. Welcome back. We took a little bit of hiatus. I just needed some time off. No big deal. But, I am going to be moving next week. There is a chance that we don't run the game. Giraffe, I know you're not going to be here because of graduation.
I'm absolutely not going to be there. There's no chance.
So it depends on where we stop things here. Depends on how much time I have. I do want to get the ball rolling still, so we'll see. It's up in the air. But for now, who wants to do a recap for your extra hero point?
Sounds like me.
Go for it.
Okay. Alright, so we made our way to the outskirts of Pytax to try to get in there and figure out some way to handle King Iravetti, who has the I guess more of a shawl or something, magical shawl or cloth or whatever, that allegedly contains a special sword that is the embodiment of a certain phase love that was taken from her. So we went to Pytax and thought about our various contacts within there. The smuggler in the Rose Tower Harbor Lighthouse, the actress in the Red Crescent Theater, the headmistress of the Academy of Arts, the temples of Desna, or maybe Calistria, and, quite possibly, a certain rival bard. We saw some refugees outside Pytax trying to get in and being unable to get in. After questioning them, we learned that they came from a town called Littletown, down the road near the forest. They were allegedly attacked by wyverns. A farmer claimed there were 6 or 7 of them, and they were not given any aid from the troops, because Pytax is on alert that a kingdom to the east, that's us, is invading, that's not us. They're likely preparing for war. So we have time, but probably not too much. We waited until night, teleported to the lighthouse to meet with the smuggler, who was quick to catch on to our plans to depose the ruler, offered his support if we would not interfere with his drug operations. We said, yeah, it's kind of none of our business. If people want to do it, as long as you're not forcing it onto people, we're good. So he sold us some masquerade scarves to help us blend in on the city streets, making us look like, well, humans, halflings, whatever we want to look like. He gave us a few leads. The harbor master was once associated with the Bandit Houses, the ruling group of the city before Iravetti took power. And he mentioned that the Desnants might want to put an end to Khan's business. So we might want to consider whether or not we want to deal with that. At the harbor, though, we met the harbor master, who explained Iravetti's tendency to make adjustments of sorts to various shipments going in and out. When we revealed ourselves, he offered to ease up on these and focus them on Iravetti's shipments, ease up on other dock workers. He hinted that Iravetti had been using printing presses in the Academy of the Arts to put out the propaganda, and so now we have a new destination as well. But he also told us a couple other things. A trade house at the end of the other docks might be worth looking into, and there's an Iron Fox Armory, which was taken over by the Pataxian Wardens, formerly a business of some Licenza family?
Licenza, yeah.
Licenza? Who own that tavern that we had learned about. It's the Falling Star. So we wanted to look into the Iron Fox Armory, determine the sewers might make a good access point, and we went in through the sewers, came out, and had a really weird time where there were multiple attempts at impersonating guards. Giraffe got locked up in jail and later released somehow. The place is being run by Nunzio Arpea, the event master from the Rushlight tournament, so we did not want him to see our face, and I think we succeeded. I left out something in my notes. Let's see. Something about the Viscari Trade House. We went to the Viscari Trade House, and we talked to the heir to the trade house. I don't remember his name other than it's Viscari. And I think he seems interested in supporting the downfall of Iravetti and the rise of the bandit houses, which really are just, they used to be bandits, but now they're merchants. So yeah, they should be fine. And so yeah, that's about where we are.
That is.
Holy smokes, that was a lot.
It's a lot, especially since you guys have been working on this whole thing for a very long time, ever since the Rushlight tournament itself.
Yeah.
But I do believe we ended off with you guys pretty much having done a lot of what you set out to do, at least in the Harbor District here. You've spoken to the Harbor Master, you've dealt with the Iron Fox Armory, all the weapons therein, dealt with Joffrey as well. The only people you haven't really spoken all that much to are the rowdy dock workers and their leadership. And you've really, well, you've already been told that they might be a little bit more of a violent revolutionary type. So, I can wait until later.
Yeah, that might be really interesting later on when we're ready to like take overt action.
But until then, the night has grown over the land here. Stars are up in the sky, and people are starting to leave their places of business and head home for the night or head out onto the streets. Other sort of, well, enjoyments that the city has to offer. So with that being said, where do you guys go from here? What do you do?
Two big options that are right in front of us. One is we could go to that tavern that's on the other end. We know about it. We have it marked, I believe. And the other is that Temple of Desna. That's largely going to be up to Giraffe.
I would like to go there.
Okay, I'll support it.
I've been passive, perhaps too passive,
All right.
and any support would be appreciated.
I'm tempted to go to the temple first just to see how Draft is going to handle them asking him religious questions.
It's the closer one anyway.
That's rather Schadenfreude field of you.
It's parent.
All right. Pull you out to the map here. And what you guys do know at the very least, especially Yarmus here with all of your knowledge about religion and such, you know the Desnans usually actually have their sort of activities at night, since of course they are star seekers and a lot of their work is done during this time.
Sense.
Remember it being here.
That should be easy to get to.
We should draw a path as before, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. You guys take any detours, any different ways?
I mean, this is the straightest path. If no one has any objections to that, then
I had to
imagine
remind
it's
myself
perfectly-
that the lights were just for show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes us across some new buildings. We head towards the temple at least, so we can get a better view of what's going on.
We'll want to
Alright.
make sure to refresh our disguises just in case.
You guys have been going around with those scarves of disguise, those masquerade scarves. Are we continuing the same disguises today?
No. Given that guards now know what we look like, we should probably change disguises. I'm going to look like an elderly woman
All right.
hunched over.
Well, I think I'll continue with what I chose at the end of the last session. That is to say, a gnome exterminator.
All right.
You exterminate gnomes?
As
You
in,
were a Terminator?
I've
I'd
catch
quit.
up with gnome.
Hmm.
Why would anyone want to quit being a Terminator?
I'm
All
trying
right.
to put together what kind of narrative that's gonna be. We have an old woman and a exterminator.
It's kind of, yeah. It's kind of, yeah.
Well, it can't be any more chaotic, so choose whatever.
Are there a lot of just random artist-looking folks wandering around town?
Oh yeah, there's bards, there are artists. Everyone's got a feather in their cap. Yeah, it's a city of the arts, a
Perfect.
Renaissance city.
So that's great. That's great. So if I look ridiculous, I'm just gonna fit in perfectly.
Oh
Now
yeah.
I'm just gonna like try to, you know, I think about what kind of fashion the people or the artsy folks have. I try to do something that kind of mimics some of them and just get a different human look going. Yeah, a different human look going and sort of artsy sort of outfit. I'm just some random ass bard.
All right.
There's tons of us.
There are tons in this city. Most of them out of luck, but the remainder of you guys.
I feel like it's very important to figure out what parent will be first.
I feel targeted.
A different breed of dog
That would probably be the easiest way to do this, yes.
or horse.
All right, here Mr.
How-
gonna be a
A donkey. A
What?
donkey. You'd be better as a donkey.
Okay, people were hesitant about letting a dog into the building. They're going to be even more hesitant on allowing livestock into the building.
Are there any
Oh, got it.
medium-sized frogs roaming the city by chance?
Not exactly.
It was worth asking.
I've got an idea. If you become another dog, I can be a hard of seeing dwarf, and you're my service dog.
Okay.
Yarmosir, I hate you.
Seeing eye parent.
Well, it's the cleanest way to get you into buildings.
Going with that, parent.
Yep.
All right. So you have a little like
They don't-
lanyard on you to make sure that everyone knows you're a seeing eye dog, and Yarmosir is a blind old dwarf. All right.
Not completely blind, but enough to need a dog.
Oh yeah. So, with the new entourage assembled, you guys continue on through the city streets at night here, and as you're getting a look at things, it seems like the city is still bustling, though more for the entertainment aspects. There's a brothel on every corner, there are dens of depravity, drug dens essentially out in the open. They sell all sorts of different things. Though, of course, they are probably fronts for the more illegal stuff in the back. You've already met the suppliers for that. Otherwise, many taverns and other things, art studios, performers, theater troupes, many street performers, in fact, trying to make a living here. But, so many of them that they all have to compete with each other. Otherwise, though, you guys keep making your way down this street, and you notice that this collection of buildings here make up more of a warehouse, sort of a little district here. And you read the signs as the Serpent's Breath Trade House. You might remember hearing about this at one point.
Hey, isn't that place where that one slaver lady was? Can't remember her name. You got the brush from her, Kiba.
Oh. Was she a slaver? I thought she was
Well,
more of a...
she wasn't. She wanted that blood, though, remember?
That was
Yes,
her.
Parents
wanted
don't,
to proliferate cambions.
parents don't just throw that name around. You had me reaching for my weapons.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I didn't mean to get you all worked up. But she has that staff I want still, so maybe we should check it out at some point.
Ah, yes. Let's pray at the Temple of Desna, and then just go rob someone. That's.
Did I say the word rob or steal?
You implied.
Only one person said that.
Listen, we shouldn't make targets of ourselves yet. If these people are the ones to help us, we shouldn't be stealing from them.
Besides, who of us is actually competent at doing such things?
That's a good point.
You know, after this whole Pytax thing is done, we should all sit down for some training on that kind of stuff or something.
Oh, why?
Sometimes you need subterfuge, and we definitely lack it in every single way.
Well,
We're gonna figure it out and then never need it again.
I feel like I'm quite the actor. I can use my words effectively for such things. I don't need to slip into shadows and pick pockets. Ugh.
As everyone stares at Kiba.
Fine, I will do it then. I have nothing better to do, obviously. But shall we continue to the temple for now?
Yes, of course.
Alright. You guys continue to make your way, and once you get to this side of the city, you do see that, or actually you first hear the shout of some of the Pytaxian wardens up the wall there. Alright, we can't let any more in. Close the gates. You all just have to find your own lodgings for tonight. As the gates seem to be barred for the many still refugees that have been turned away at the gate. Of course, on the other side. But you also notice that the Temple of Desna, this sort of circular building that has a dome at its top, sort of flat-top dome, reaches up about 3 stories high. You see many sort of mosaics of flowers and stars sort of intertwining themselves along its facade. It's a very beautiful, if small, temple. And also, despite its size, there are many, many people lined up outside of it. Seems like the Desnan priests have taken it upon themselves to take care of whoever even can get through the gate. How do you guys proceed?
So, what is our plan here exactly? Giraffe.
I just wanted to take a quick look. Maybe say a prayer. I don't know. What?
Are we not going to search for sympathizers
That too.
to, well,
Not a bad idea.
Looks like we're gonna have to wait in line for a while either way.
As you guys look at the line, however, it's gotten quite rowdy, especially this late. People being tired, out of their sort of comfort zones. One person sort of shouts at another, "Oi! You took my place in line! Get behind me!" And the other, sort of a dwarf, looks up at them. I know how to queue up. Seems you humans don't. I lived in this country far longer than you have, that can be sure of it too. Well, that doesn't mean you can get in front of me. Get behind! And they start reaching a hand towards the dwarf, and the dwarf also balls a hand into a fist.
Giraffe, go break them up or something.
What? Why me?
You're
I'm
a
just
Desnan. This is your
just an old
responsibility.
lady.
They wouldn't punch an old lady.
Alright, you asked for it.
you might want to ask Hila for some help.
Oh, very well.
Alright, so Kiba and Giraffe, you walking up?
Yep.
Alright. The two sort of are getting a hold of each other's clothings and sort of one's trying to throttle the other. It's not a full-out brawl, but other people are sort of shouting, "Alright, no, he was back there. Don't get yourself involved." And all of these sort of shouts and different things. You both walk up. What do you do?
Giraffe's gonna put on his best old woman voice, which probably isn't gonna be that good. That, what? You two should really just stop.
Well, what are you talking about, old hag?
No.
That's no way to talk to someone like me. You should just. Everyone's waiting in line, and you're just causing a ruckus over what? Oh, a minute of extra of waiting for one or other of you?
Aye, they might close the door in front of me. Every place matters. I'm not gonna go hungry tonight. Ever since Littletown burned, I've been hungry. So damn hungry. Not gonna let this idiot try to push their way to the front without us noticing. I didn't push my way anywhere. You should have your eyes checked. I was always in front of you. Giraffe, if you would like. Roll me a check that you think is appropriate to this, because I don't believe that you're doing this very intimidatingly.
No, unless they have a fear of old people.
You can always...
Ooh. You can always try. I can pull out the muscles. Muscle? Oh, the buffled grandma.
Well, it's your skill that matters.
I guess I could just raise my voice and tell them to shut up, get in line, or go away.
Mm-hmm. You could.
Oh boy.
That would make it an intimidation to just get a hold of themselves.
As Giraffe is pondering this, Kiba, are you saying anything?
You want me to step in and handle this, or do you want to do it your way?
Giraffe is going to go ahead and shout at them.
Okay. It's gonna be public, since you immediately know the result of it. Only private, or only
Oof.
blind on stealth and deception, sort of sneaky stuff. So, and recall knowledge. You raise your voice in your best sort of old pissed off grandma voice, and if you guys have ever been around old pissed off grandmas, they can really sort of set men in their line, as these two guys have sort of already dropped each other. Like, all right, jeez. You sound like my old ma. Don't know what
Good.
got into me.
Behave yourselves. I'm too old for this. Just act like mature men, not like children.
Are you two all right?
You're fine. I guess the dwarf has to claim to it, and before they could finish, they're sort of grumbling to themselves. You see a sort of middle-aged man step out. What's all this about? Well, is someone going to speak up for themselves?
There's no trouble. There was just a simple misunderstanding. People are hungry, cranky, and tired, and worried that there won't be a bed for each of them. Worried that they might be locked out for the night if they don't get in soon enough.
I've heard these same worries. It's unfortunate, though, that all of our clerics are busy making the food, and making beds for them, that we can't come out here and individually assess each of their concerns. Seem to have done it quite well yourselves. I'm Gare Lialtos, the leader of the services here.
It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
What brings you here? You don't look as despondent as these others.
Oh, just some traveling. I did not expect to see refugees at the gates, though. It's
Where
sad
have
to
you been the last few days? Been refugees coming in every day of the week. Even more than that.
Oh yes, from Littletown.
Right, and other peripheries as well. Some in the east. But most people coming through this gate are coming from Littletown. Shame what happened to it. Wyverns, as it has been said.
I'm surprised that there was no armed aid sent to help.
Aye, with
To help
the
hide up.
Well, with the war, they are all called back to the capital to muster. Or, well, war being on the horizon at the very least. They are acting as if it's already a foregone conclusion. Which, well, one should know that you shouldn't just let their dreams fall away, their dreams of peace so easily. Be
It seems
prepared
so
for the...
strange too.
Yes. But
One
I'm in...
day, we have guests coming over and playing the games and having a great time. And the next day, apparently Pytax is at war.
Aye, that's how these things go. Powers that be, well, care little for the disruption of the lives of the little folk. I'm doing what I can. Clergy has filled their spell slots with create food and water, but there's only even so much that can do.
Hmm.
So,
Perhaps we could do more. Do you mind if me and my younger friends help you out? We're not exactly clerics, but I myself followed Desna.
I certainly saw something in you, yes. Say, who exactly are you? What's your name? Your occupation? Brings you exactly here?
Maybe we should discuss that in the temple if you want to have a longer conversation.
So be it if you
Many
wish to
eyes.
help. Guides you all inside, and the Temple of Desna is sort of this rotunda-like building on the interior, where, as you're looking up into the rotunda itself, the underside of the dome, you see these many sort of stars that are being reflected in the glass of the dome, essentially. It seems as though it's stained glass that is almost accentuating the, well, actual starlight that's coming through to sort of like give them names. So if you stand in the right spot of the room at any certain point, it seems like the magically shifting, like, lettering on the ceiling is matching up to where those stars are, those constellations are. And it gives the whole place a sort of purplish, bluish hue in the interior. But, of course, there's not much room to stand, as there are many refugees laid out on the floor, eating food from clerics that bring them that bring things, and others are seemingly getting their services of healing and disease prevention. But he guides you into a small side chamber, a scantily appointed minister's sort of room here. Well, you certainly have an interesting bunch, I will say that much. Certainly caught my eye. So,
Giraffe accidentally breaks his voice and says, yeah, we've known each other for a while. Oh, shit.
that's
No,
not
no,
the voice
no.
I heard before. Please, if you are under some sort of guise, Desna does not care for that, or does not find it an affront. If one must travel under guises, so be it.
Yeah, that's... I guess since we're in the temple, I could just take it off. I hated walking hunched over anyways.
You are not the
Giraffe.
first.
Giraffe's gonna undo the scarf.
Mm-hmm. There's a sort of moment of recognition that goes over their eyes. Oh, I know you. You're the champions of the joust, the champions of the nation we are supposed to be at war with, or going to war with. Now I understand why you're here.
We're mostly just confused as to why war is being declared. We made no action. We enjoyed the games, and I hate these games. Well, the games were fun, but these political games, I hate them.
You don't need to, well, shouldn't ask me about it. They are above my head, of course. I worry about the little folk, not the big games that people are playing. There will always be somebody who is hurt by it. That's what we're here for. Ask the Callistrians. They know a lot more about vengeance. They probably will find some excuse for their Lord Castruccio doing this. They've always been on his side.
Oh, I think I can imagine what the motives are. I will note, however, it may come as some small comfort to let you know that there are, of course, absolutely no soldiers on the march from the eastern lands. I can assure you of that.
Oh, you do not need to tell me that. I highly doubted it in the first place, hearing of the exploits of your kingdom. All the news changing very quickly in the last couple of years, editorialized as it is. No, I understand. I admire your kingdom. Though, that's tantamount to saying treason in these parts. What can I do to help you, though? You've certainly come here for a reason.
Well, I'll be honest. Even with the stakes of the upcoming war, I did want to see this temple, and I'm glad I did. But we are also looking for allies and preventing a war of actual war from starting.
Well, allies and me you certainly will have, especially amongst the amongst fellow followers like yourself. Though, I must know if you will be proper representatives of our faith. If we are to help you, you must understand why we are helping you in the first place. If you tell me some of the tenets that would apply to the situation, just so I know. Be a religion check for anybody who wants to.
I'll
Guess
give
I
it a
have
go. It's appropriate role for me.
Armister's willing to pitch in if struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give an 8 check to somebody as well.
Okay. Remember that 8 checks are public. Alright, so Kiba and Yarmsir both seem to recall similar things, and they're working together to sort of like assuage his fears, perhaps, about your representing of their faith if they are to be even helping you in the first place. Though you do tell them about how Desna is a good goddess, about, well, her visions for the world, and, well, lessening of suffering certainly is one of them. And you certainly understand why they take in refugees, as refugees are travelers themselves, travelers for a better future. So, Desna being a goddess of travel certainly makes sense. Oh yes, you do seem to understand. If we are to help you, we are starting to see that the refugees are slowing their pace coming into our nation, or into our city, so we may have some clerics on standby for other activities. If you are to do what you say you wish to do, which is to stop this, you're going to have to stop Iraveti. And if you're going to have to stop him, you must understand that you have to have the city on your side.
That is the goal.
And should people rise up, there are always those that are going to get hurt in the middle of it. Our priests will help. We'll spread the word amongst our flock, and ensure that anyone who needs refuge from persecution under Iraveti or gets hurt in the, protests, will have our protection. Be sure of that.
I'm happy to hear that.
No longer are we speaking of things tantamount to treason, but treason itself. Is this truly alright with your proceedings?
Desna seeks freedom above all else. Freedom to travel, freedom to do as one will. People of the city are not free, especially not free to express themselves in any way they choose. They must express themselves in a way that Iraveti decides. And even though things on the surface look egalitarian, and pretty, and renaissance, so to say, underneath it all is the pall of tyranny. You are not exactly allowed to criticize Iraveti, criticize the government, criticize the wardens for that matter, nor are you allowed to freely express yourself through art and literature. Mostly you are bid to create art that aggrandizes the city alone, or Iraveti alone. If you've ever been to the Red Crescent Theater, all they do are plays about Iraveti's exploits in Numeria, or about the exploits of the city, or aggrandizement of it. It's appalling. So it's no wonder that I would accept your aid in this matter. or would help you in this matter.
We are glad. I'll see to it that these sacrifices won't be made for naught.
There's no willing they won't. But some of my clerics are calling. I do need to go and help those in need at this moment.
I can give you some assistance before we leave, if you would like.
Should you? In what way?
I can provide more food for your people for tonight.
Very well. The more stomachs are fed, the more people will appreciate what you are doing here. If you wish to stay the night, in fact, it is getting late as well.
I think we were going to go wander more, but here, Parents will pull out the wand of Planar Palace, which can produce a 9-course buffet for 150 people.
Wow.
That's certainly something.
I
This
was
is
about to pull out some charcuterie boards, but I don't think I can compare.
I imagine that can be split up.
1,350 servings.
Oh
Is my
my
guess.
gosh.
You won
That-
this at the tournament.
It's ironic, isn't it? He's finally helping the city in a way by giving this to us.
We'll feed those people that Iravetti has shirked, yes. Absolutely. I will take it off your hands and use it for the betterment of these people. Do come and regain it in your possession, though, after all this is done.
Alright, I feel we won't need this for a few days at least, so this should help you.
Yes, it certainly will. We can ration this out. Those 9-course meals can feed one person a day. Yes, this is excellent, in fact. Thank you. You can feed everyone here and more.
Anything to help.
Oh, I should be on my way and provide this food to them. And I'm sure you have things to do. It doesn't guide your steps.
Thank you.
You as well.
Giraffe really awkwardly not knowing most of the traditions with it.
He's a fair weather Desmond, that's for sure.
Fair weather
Not
doesn't.
trained in religion?
More of a newer one.
I know he's new.
Yeah.
He'll learn.
He prefers contemporary worship. It's fine.
So, from here, where do you guys
Actually, one of
head?
the business tenants.
I
Keep
imagine
it-
most places are closed by
Keep it.
now. So.
You mentioned a bar? Are you talking about the one by the academy?
That's right.
The Falling Star.
That's where all the students are.
I will admit I'm
Well,
also curious about the theater, but that's more likely for the daytime, I'm sure.
Go ahead and draw me a map. Or draw me a path through the city.
I wonder if those walls between the districts are going to be more guarded or not.
Allegedly not, from what we've heard.
Somebody drawing it, or should I?
I will do so.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out a good path.
I can figure out how to do it too. Golly.
Go into
The
the
plaza
pencil
seems
tool?
like interesting, so
You need to click on the freehand button that's above the A.
Freehand!
There we go.
Oh, that works. Congratulations.
Alright. So, as you continue through the night in the city here, passing by a guard or two, they don't seem to all that notice your presence here or care to stop you. But once you get to this wide open common square, it is not completely empty at its middle, but there are sort of little booths that are being closed up and clearing from the square. Seems to be a marketplace during the day. And, well, it seems like the only people that are not just closing up here are a small crowd of people that are gathered around the fountain at the center.
We should go check and see what the hubbub is about.
Sure, why not?
Right. You see a plaque commemorating this fountain as the Fountain of Sorrows, commemorating those lost in the recent civil war that you've heard about, that destroyed the southern side of the city, by the way. And the crowds that are here are many sort of well-to-do peoples, it seems, and they are all sort of in a semicircle, listening to, well, a bit of bardic song that Kiba recognizes almost immediately as the voice of Anime de Bellavara, holding her court, as it were.
I don't look like a bird.
Sorry?
Would you like to speak to her nonetheless?
Oh, if I did that, it definitely wouldn't be. Or I could theoretically talk to her. I don't know if I'd have any way to indicate who I am properly.
Well, bards have a common language, do they not? Perhaps just approaching as someone new would do much the same.
So what is she actually talking about in particular?
She seems to be singing songs that aggrandize Iravetti, and also intertwining it with some news as well, sort of crying out to the people about how Iravetti is calling in all his resources to defend our homes from the aggressors on the other side of the Gnarl Marches, about how it's all vague, so it's not like any details can be really checked upon. It's like aggressors, and she doesn't really say anything about how there was any aggression. It's all that sort of news nonsense. Propaganda, as it were.
Yeah, as much as I would love to, I wouldn't want to put her at risk in the open. That would be really dangerous.
Well, would it be dangerous for her? She has spoken to you multiple times.
Yeah.
In private. She seems to flaunt her power in a way, and relishes the opportunity not to just be completely under the boot of Iravetti. You remember your conversations with her.
Actually, one thing I could do is sort of I could join in with my do I have a lyre? Why am I having trouble remembering this for some reason?
It's alright.
And that would still make me look really weird. Then again, if she would recognize it as the same one that I played, then I could just show my presence as this funny looking human artsy guy with that same lyre. It is a virtuoso lyre, so yeah.
Well.
So at the very least, I can just try to just be near the front of the crowd and just make sure I'm seen with that lyre, and just try to catch her eye. So I'll start with that.
Okay. You step into the crowd, and, well, it's not uncommon that Enemy of Bellavara has been challenged in some ways to a bardic duel of sorts. You step up under your guise and begin to play off the lute. Roll me a performance check for this.
Not singing. I gotta actually click the lyre itself. One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I couldn't do it while I had performance open.
Alright.
Okay.
You can always just add the +1 if... Oh, okay, there we go.
I couldn't remember what the plus even was.
So, you begin
Not
this...
intended to disrupt, more like
Hmm?
blend, almost? Harmonize?
Alright. Almost immediately, the crowd begins to turn towards you and nod along with it. It's an excellent sort of display of harmony with her sort of lute and your lyre. She continues, but definitely sort of swishes that white streak of hair away from her other eye to really get a good look at you. She seems to definitely recognize you. Through the rest of the play, she sort of swishes down from the edge of the fountain and over towards you, and she continues to play the lute along with you in this sort of duet as she sort of leans over to speak quietly. I would recognize that tune anywhere. So,
I'm glad.
you brought yourself into the middle, the belly of the beast. Right here before me. Daring, as always.
What
How
can
did
I
that-
say? I could stay away.
You couldn't, could you? How did the information I gave you play out? Swirls away with the lute, playing it a little bit as you consider your response, and she gets back to you in a moment.
Now that's worth a story.
Story? Well, why don't you weave it into our song here? I'll get the meaning of it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Roll me a performance
Okay.
check.
Yeah, so I will be leaving out any parts that specifically would be about Iravetti,
Oh yes. Of course.
and I'll try to like sort of improvise like some verses about the Fae and lost love, etc.
Alright.
Kind of hitting on some of the points, but nice, but vague enough that it's like not calling any kings out for anything. Yeah.
Of course. You are playing into the fact that Enemy Bellavara is your only equal here, and she will probably be the only one who knows the more deep cuts of, well, bardic sort of knowledge and bardic displays, like why you lower the tone at this point, why you raise it at this point. There's meaning in every note that you play. There's meaning in every sort of metaphor you make. She picks up on them almost immediately, while everyone else just thinks it's a nice song. It's sort of bard speak, almost, as a language in its own right. So she sort of swirls back
Bard's
to you.
cat.
Yeah. Nodding her head. So it was all true, the rumors I heard. Shame.
Must be.
Really. I was hoping that you would either fail and I would remain ignorant, or that there was nothing there in the first place, but no. This proves a lot about Iravetti. His hidden love, it seems. Scandalous. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I need to give that love back to the one it belongs to.
One could never write a better story than that. I relish the opportunity to do that, but I'm not in my younger years as I was before. Learned a lot traveling from Tianzia. But here I've made my own life. As I told you before, I am loyal to my nation, not to its ruler. The more you tell me about him, the more I feel the nation needs to change for its better future.
Well, the wheels have started to turn, starting with the harbor.
I have heard. I hear a lot about what happens in the city, and I had an inkling it was you. So here's the deal. I'm going to start shifting things against Iravetti. I know how to do it. You understand that there is much meaning behind the art form, and when I shift it, the other artists of the city will understand, while Iravetti and his foolish gods will not understand the more, or the hidden meanings of the songs that I play. On the surface, perhaps I will still have to say good things about him, but underneath it all, it will be a trumpet call to the people. Be prepared for what is to come.
And they'll be right there with you, in spirit, if nothing else.
If nothing else at all, I know how to spin this, especially to annoy Irvetti. He can do nothing against me, especially since I am not doing nothing overtly treasonous at all, in fact. So, don't worry about me. Worry about yourselves from this point on. I entrust that this will just add to the distractions of Irvetti.
I do hope so.
You'll be having to post more guards around the city, less of them in the keep. Certainly after what you've done in the harbor as well. I think, really, all you need to do, and she continues to swirl with the music that you've been duetting with. It's in a sort of lower tone, a little bit more conversational between you two, but nobody hears it over the strumming of the lute and lyre. I would suggest going to the Falling Star tonight and meeting with the rebellion's leaders. Yes, I know it's an open secret that they are all there, but again, Irvetti can do nothing. You wouldn't want to kick the rat's nest, so to say. Or the wasp's nest, really, by doing a intervention upon that place.
We do have plans to go there. We're on our way there as we pass by.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Callistrians as well. Their cathedral that rises above the city has always been a powerful vesture of their faith here. If you want power, you may be able to convince them that this is a righteous cause of vengeance for the people of this city.
I suppose so. However, I'm reluctant to include vengeance in this.
Well, I admire your peaceful ways, but our city has just been through a civil war before Irvetti got in charge. Our people know violence when we want a change. But maybe you're the change to that. Nevertheless,
Perhaps.
I must continue this, and you've taken too much of the limelight, I must say.
I shall give it back.
As you gracefully leave the performance, she continues it on, sort of in double time to make up for the missing harmony as you slip back to your allies.
What a woman.
I always thought it was pronounced Tian Shaw.
So she's Tia, and you have to go with what she said.
I,
But yeah, you guys continue on your path, make a stop at the Callistrius Cathedral. What do you do?
Where's Callistrian Cathedral?
The
Yeah.
big
Next to
building
us.
right in the middle.
Oh, right there. Oh wow, that. I believe that's not the keep.
Nope, the keep is over here.
Oh, what a.
oh. That ugly looking thing.
Well, you'll get
I'm
closer
sure it's
and
not
see why
actually
it
ugly.
is. Well, what's going on with it?
It just has a flat roof.
Maybe it's Numerian design.
So, where to?
Should we check out the Clistrian temple? I don't know if we're gonna have a productive time in there or not.
They're
I think we
interesting.
have. I think we definitely have a case that we can present.
Do you want to lead the way, Amrosir?
Well, technically, you would be leading away my loyal service dog. But yes, let's see what we can do.
I will bite you.
You wouldn't bite a blind person, would you?
Certainly not a real blind person.
So, as you guys stand before this monolithic cathedral before you, it is as if it is one of the sort of great cathedrals of Europe. Sort of that massive facade right in front, that Gothic architecture, flying buttresses, and an aesthetic, of course, of black and yellow sort of stained glass windows all across its exterior. You see images of stingers of wasps. You see images of rapiers and stiletto sort of like daggers, and well, it is Callistrian, certainly. So,
Say,
Hmm?
it's just sort of quiet right now. There's not really much activity going on here.
not on the outside of it. You see these massive double doors before you. Nothing that prevents you from entering.
Gotcha. Well, if it's a public building, then might as well.
You push the
Jumps your
doors on wide, and you enter a massive interior here, filled with this sort of yellowish light that seems to be magically enhanced even during the night here to cast down into the place. But it seems as though, well, like the Desnans, the Callistrians do like to do their activities at night, being a goddess of both vengeance and pleasure, all happening in the dark better than in the light. So
Even
there.
this feels so out of place here.
There are many men and women of the cloth, sort of like in these striking sort of gowns of sort of pointy spolders to them, and like high heels and like high heel boots as well. It's all very like striking, authoritarian, or authoritative, I should say.
Battle high heels.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the other Callistrian priest that you met before. Priestess, in fact.
Priestesses.
But this time you are approached by a male clergy member. This one sort of in this straight-laced gown here, looking over towards you. I don't believe I've met you all before. What is your business with us?
Good evening. I can't say any of us are followers of Callistria, but we are. Well, some of our number are quite religiously inclined nonetheless. It's good to look and see at the business of our fellow ascetics, is it not?
This is not a place for tourists. So unless you have business or well, are seeking pleasure, you can find the exit. So, business or pleasure?
Business, indeed.
What
Well-
ails you then? Who has wronged you? Whom do you wish to have to feel the savage sting of Callistria?
There's someone we know that has brought ruin both upon his own land and our own. Someone who has declared a one-sided grudge, perhaps, yet claims it is an act of revenge in itself.
As you are following along with this, quite intelligently, roll your religion check, Yarmsir. This can be public, since you immediately know the result.
Gotcha.
As you know for certain that Callistrians, or people come to the Callistrian Cathedral to admit their vengeance. They admit the wrongdoings of others so that there can be something done about it.
Immediately hear
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Someone who has the power to change the fate of nations. I have heard this story many times, but not from the perspective of outsiders. He sort of lowers his voice so that it does not echo throughout the interior here. Though it seems as though whispers don't carry as much even in this interior, as if low-level sound is dampened even further so that whispers are completely private here. You wish the death of our king. Do you not?
My eyes go wide for a moment.
It is my word
Yes.
as a priest of Callistria that your lust for vengeance does not leave my ears and enter my mouth to tell to anyone else. Your
As many
vengeance is
layers
yours
of
alone.
as many layers of justice as we can wrap it up in. It's true that there's an element of vengeance in it as well, though not just for us. If my ears don't deceive me, it seems as though many within these walls have come to you with these troubles as well.
Oh, many have. Many have indeed. We do what we can to assuage their need for vengeance, and we pray to Callistria to tell her of their needs. But yet, they have not had their just dues. They have not had their vengeance against him. What we need is for someone to carry the saved sting to that man's heart, sooner rather than later. Will you be the ones, then? For I know where you're from.
You're quite perceptive. Well, if you've known of our exploits at the Rushlight tournament, then I do believe you're aware of what we're capable of.
It is my business to know everyone's hearts who enter through this great hall. My perception is keen for it, yes. And your lust for vengeance is high, at least in some of you. Others are a little bit more tempered.
Eva just kind of looks away and just, yeah.
Well, temperate in all things, we must admit to our primal urges as much as we should admit to how we control them.
I'll admit that
Temperance
I'm
is
angry.
not a part of our faith. If you wish someone dead, go and do it in her name. Go and acquire your vengeance, your just vengeance, by the way. Callistria does not hear pathetic, vengeful acts. If you seek one's demise in one way or another, then she will guide you to it. But it seems my words are falling upon mostly deaf ears here. But you've impressed me.
Well,
Nevertheless.
perhaps even if not for our own vengeance, you can agree that it's for the vengeance of the people. Is there any way you might be able to support this endeavor?
Callistria is generally individualistic in her acts of vengeance. It is a personal vendetta that she savors the most. But if enough people desire the same vengeance altogether, why shouldn't they act as a group to enact their vengeance? I know many who have come through these doors who are waiting for the right time. Perhaps it is now that you have arrived here to deliver it to them.
Indeed, the time will be soon.
Then we will prepare our clergy for it. We will let the word spread that vengeance is nigh. The people will be prepared to enact their vengeance. But there is one thing I must ask of you if you are to take the reins of their vengeance. They will want a display of it. They will want his head paraded through these streets.
Eva just kind of rubs his eyes.
We'll see what we can do.
You'll see what you can do. Just beware.
See if his head makes it out in a recognizable state.
When we stoke the flames of vengeance in our flock's hearts, they will want to see it themselves. But that is up to you to decide what to do with. It
Don't
is out
worry,
of my hands at that point.
everybody will know when the deed is done, I am sure. Whether that's through seeing it themselves or some other event.
Very well. You have our aid. You will have the people's aid. They will cry out for his head, to save its sting to reach his heart. You know the phrase of Calistria, don't you? When one enacts their vengeance when the time is nigh, what phrase do they speak?
This is a separate religion rule, I imagine.
It could be.
I'm gonna roll it. That'd be really funny if Kiba knew this.
So I'm looking it up myself, actually. Here we go. I remembered it. It's from, there's a Calistrian and Kingmaker video game that does it. It is... I stab at thee with my heart. You remember this, young sir.
Real life player knowledge check. Certainly relays that.
Very well. I hope when you find Irvati, you will remember these words. For it is in the people's name that you stab at him. Otherwise, I have much to do here, much to prepare. I bid you good day.
You as well.
Yeah. That was unsettling.
Wow.
This harkens back to the earliest days of our journey, back when more anything that mattered to me was just having the allies to do what needed to be done. Well, this doesn't change the fact, whatever we do, it doesn't change the fact that there are many people in this town that do genuinely desire vengeance for their woes. But we must do our best to find a common ground with everybody.
As long as we can ensure that there's going to be enough of a leadership support, so to speak, to be put in place so that this lust for vengeance of the people doesn't end up devolving into further violence.
If the bandit houses are amenable to it, we could ask that they be the ones to do this sort of display that's requested of us.
I'm quite possibly on board with this, yes.
Seems to be a way to easily curry favor back towards them in the aftermath.
Not to mention, I think ultimately that responsibility should be on the people of the city and not on us. We're here to do this, of course, but it's not entirely for our own benefit.
Let's see if the hands of if our hands can be the thorns that sting for the people. Now, shall we head our way to the tavern?
We should. Perhaps we can see what more we can do for them. Maybe to help boost them up somewhat.
Alright. So, let's continue along the path that you had set out before yourselves.
Sounds good to me. It'll give us a chance to get a look at the keep as we pass it.
Mm-hmm. As you head down this thoroughfare here, you notice that before the palace here is a local landmark here. There's this massive, water wheel that's, turning in the air. It doesn't have any water on it, it's just, attached to the side of the building, and it continues to turn just because of the airflow. Guys, it doesn't look very, operative in terms of generating energy. It just seems like a piece of art or a piece of curiosity on the side of this building that draws people's eyes to it. The strange thing is as well, you get the smell of meat and cheese. It seems to be a butcher and cheese shop underneath called the Turning Wheel.
Underneath a key?
No, right here.
Oh. Oh, gotcha.
Could always stop in if you'd like.
We should get some cheese for the road.
Well, maybe meat instead of cheese.
Why not cheese?
Why cheese?
Why not?
Cheese is more portable.
It's tasty.
Well, not if you jerky the meat. Besides, I can whip up meat and cheese at any time we want. This also seems like a very pointed place to put an opportunity to poison Iraveti in, but I don't think we went through that
Okay.
quest tree.
What if he really likes meat and cheese? What if he stops by here every day?
It's a local landmark right next to the palace.
Is it still open?
It's closed. But I just wanted to let you guys know it's there.
It's
So-
very interesting.
It's very conspicuous.
We should probably investigate them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, landmarks in the city, you can always have a look at them. You never know what you're going to find.
When
But
they're open, perhaps. I don't want to break in.
as you guys get around the corner here, you do see the main thoroughfare of white stone, flagstone that leads up to what seems to be the palace of Iraveti. The many sort of banners on the walls there of the Pytaxian coat of arms, the blue sort of coloration of it. You notice, however, that the palace is strangely constructed. There's no sense to it, it seems, as if it's made on purpose to be incongruous, made to be not symmetrical in any such way. You see many portions of the roof even that sort of slant in different directions, this way and that don't really seem to match up with what's underneath it even. There's other places where the ball bulges out, others that where it sort of concaves in. It's this wildly mishmashed building before you. Very eccentric looking. But it's only a single story high as well, except for what seem to be little bronze-looking towers that rise up above its roof that seem to be lookout points this way and that on the roof itself.
How well guarded does it seem from the outside?
Well, there's lookout posts. There are many murder holes along its sides there. Probably pretty well guarded, yes. You would have to get closer under some guise to really test it out or see what's going on with it, though.
It kind of looks like some engineer got really, really drunk before he designed this place.
Your Honor, see your elbows, Gaz. Hey, is this Nemurian architecture? Perhaps?
Yeah. It certainly has some elements of it, but it seems to be more just fanciness in general.
Could roll me a crafting check for it to maybe remember something about it.
Certainly.
Both of us? Or
Anybody who wants to, with crafting.
right?
That is at least trained, of course. Would have to be blind because this is recalling knowledge about the situation. There we are. So, guys, you don't recall too much, but Yarmasir, you remember reading something about it. Maybe a visitor's guide to Pitax a couple of years ago. And it was like an architecturalist digest about the palace here. It is nicknamed the House of 100 Doors. And as you're reading it, the person says, in fact, there are more than 100 doors within. It's said to be the oldest buildings in the city, built here by an eccentric wizard who had a strange fascination with doors, twisting mazes, and architectural whimsies. And it is said that there are, of course, many secrets within. Secret doors, passageways, an underbelly, but those are just rumors.
Huh. So it's just built this way because
He's a
it
wizard.
just is.
Thought so, yeah.
A wizard
okay.
did it.
A wizard did it.
Yeah.
Well, Yarmus here takes a looks at Baron, but after relaying that, there's I guess that's something to be pondered later.
We'll just have to keep in mind that it may be full of magical crap if we actually get in there.
Well, you can probably keep an eye on that for us.
Well, I
Or-
like art. That wheel, I like that wheel. That keep, not so much.
Well, maybe you just aren't the target audience.
Maybe.
But as you guys continue away from it, you reach this, what seems to be a gate between the two halves of the city here. There are guards at the top of it. You do notice some Pytaxian wardens, but nobody's at the bottom sort of like checking on people or anything like that. It seems like an easily sort of passed through gateway. Nobody stops you here.
Yep, we'll pass through trying to make casual conversation as we do.
Mm-hmm. Was somebody else saying something? Guess not. Oh,
I commented on how, hey, this is easy.
yeah. So, as you guys reach the corner here, you immediately see a sign sort of over top of some nice wrought iron fencing belying the falling star, and is literally just a little star-shaped picture of a falling star. But well, it seems a little bit worse for wear. There are scratchings along its sort of stone exterior. There's chippings along its statues, and well, you'll see. We get here. I need to change the lighting. There we go. Nighttime. The city has plenty of street lamps and such. You guys pass through the gate here.
Oh, a lamplighter would have been a great disguise.
Oh yeah.
A lamp lady. Yeah. Lamplighter.
The streets are pretty empty at this point. It's pretty late in the day, about 11 o'clock at night. You do see the gate sort of, well, before you here.
Oh, just repair my bum. This is that. Oh, what a nice fountain.
Seems to be someone sort of leaning over the fountain as you approach.
I assume,
Vomit in there.
I assume the gate is open.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I'll step through. That person who was leaning over the fountain seems not to have just been leaning on it, but rather throwing up within the fountain.
No.
Sort of looks up, sort of slurs towards Giraffe. What's an old lady doing here? Isn't there a knitting club around the corner?
Please be nice to my nana.
Oh, you a mama's boy?
No, I just don't want to make her angry.
Her angry? You couldn't hurt a
Trust me.
fly.
Trust me.
You're a few bad words away from being smacked.
No.
Smacked? I
Yes,
ought
no,
to
he's
smack
doing
you like I did my mama.
No.
This is gonna escalate.
What? You gonna say something?
What? How about we get a nice glass of water and sit down and relax together?
Glass of water? Sit down. Relax. I don't want to do any of those things.
In
I
that case,
want
we'll
more
just.
beer.
Well, maybe after an hour?
You gonna buy me a drink, lady?
You're, not my type.
Oh, since you're such a nice lady, why don't get out of my way? Tries to shove you towards the fountain, Giraffe.
I'm gonna throw him in the fountain.
No, let's just go.
He can barely move a muscle on you as he tries to push you over.
I'm
Giraffe,
gonna throw him in.
roll an athletics check.
Oh my god.
As this little old lady just
Oh,
grabs him, throws him over her shoulder, and slams him down into the fountain. He's just dunked completely into it. He sort of thrashes around. Where? Oh, God.
that's enough.
I had to. I had to.
We talked about this. We talked about this.
The hell is she on? Get out of my way, dog. Runs down the
Gonna
street.
trip him as he goes past.
So you put out one of your dog legs there and
Yeah.
slams into the shadow of the gate there.
Okay, that was fun.
Runs away with a bloody nose and wet clothes.
It'd be really funny if that was the
The leader.
the leader of the resistance. Yeah.
Oh, that would be very depressing.
But yeah, the falling star lies before you. Of course, this is a roofed building, so if you move your tokens underneath it, you'll see what's underneath.
Ooh.
So what I'm gonna have to do for
Love
the
it.
stream is remove it. Yes, there's no way I can do that.
Okay.
Peel it off like the 11-foot-8 bridge does to cars.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm
well it's
ready to
12
go
foot
on
6
for
now, but it still peels.
Oh, they expand.
They raised it to 12 foot 6, but it still peels away plenty of cars.
That's great news.
But as you open the doors here, I'm going to change the music to something a little bit more appropriate. As you are met with the smoky interior of a bustling tavern, people are sort of rowdy with each other, sort of yelling over across from tables. Hey, what'd you say? Oh, well, I don't want any trouble. Go back to your, that sort of rowdy sort of tavern atmosphere here. And, oops. This isn't too much stuff. Let me get the music going. There we go. Step inside. There are many people here that you could speak to. There's someone sort of bustling behind the counter. He sort of raises his head towards you. He's sort of a beet red face on this guy. Oh, I'll get to you in a second. Just find a seat somewhere or come up to the bar. God, it's busy tonight.
You know, I probably could have figured out a better disguise than a dog, honestly.
I couldn't think of anything.
Is that dog? Oh, it's got one of those placards. Whatever.
It's
Yes,
alright. He's smarter than us.
I am quite in need of a service dog.
I should not have said it in that way.
So,
Brent just looks at Kiva and nods.
Graf, as you step over here near this sort of plant, you have a look through the curtains in the south here. They seem to cover up a even more smoky sort of hallway back there with more curtains covering rooms.
Interesting.
Well, how are we going to do this?
It's pretty. You said it was relatively noisy in here.
Relatively, yeah.
Well, obviously, we need to find who's in charge. Probably the owner.
What do you think the resistance leader is actually in charge of the tavern? I thought they just met here for their business.
That's a good point. There's a lot of people here, though, so it's difficult to know where to start.
There we go. I think that's right for the audio ambiance or whatever. So, yeah. There are many people here. You see a few notables amongst the other crowds here. It's up to you guys. What exactly are you doing at this moment?
Kiba, look over there. And he nods to the corner with the lady with the lute.
Indeed.
Might be a good lead for you.
Could very well be. I wonder if she's any good. I step in that direction.
She sits there with a couple of other sort of, what seem to be sort of bardic sorts. She sort of raises a glance towards you. Well, who are you?
A fellow musician. How do you do?
You don't look like any musician I've seen around here, and I know all of them.
All of them, you say?
All of them that are worth knowing. And the others sort of at the table laugh at the joke.
Interesting. How about if I prove you wrong?
Prove me wrong, huh? I've been doing this for years. I'll have you know I have the best corner in the city. For, well, plying the trade.
I take it you're very versatile. You know many songs.
I know a few. Just the best ones that make the most money. I always gotta tug on those heartstrings, you know? Make people feel what they just want to feel at the time. Get them to throw a few coins my way. And then I
That
spend
does
them
make
all here.
sense. But are you really any good?
Well, I'm the best. Well, besides Enemy Bellavara, but she's been doing it for far longer. I mean, I'm a natural talent, but her... She's ridiculous, and I'm not going to... worry about that.
She's quite an amazing woman, isn't she?
Well, I mean, whatever you say. She just has... She's... has wealth to her name. She gets to do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to survive like us.
Well, it is important to survive, but it does seem like it's sort of a difficult place for musicians to survive, artists in general, these days, huh?
Well, we do what we can.
It'd be a lot nicer if we didn't have such restrictions on us, wouldn't it?
Well, what restrictions? I just say all these pretty things about Ayurveda and I get money for it. Sounds like a win-win for me.
You don't ever miss being able to sing songs about romance and love, of
Yeah.
other beautiful things, of
Well, I don't-
stories from far.
Well, what's there to miss? I sing love stories about Ayurveda and he has stories from afar in Numeria. That fits the bill, doesn't it? Look, I'm just
I
here to
suppose you're
make
right,
money.
actually.
And in this city, people are suckers for a story about Ayurveda. They'll pay you for it. They bring us in fact. Just because they give us, well, a few kickbacks for it.
Okay, so I've been talking to her enough, and watching her and listening to her talk about these things. I want to get some perception going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, figure out if she's being fully honest, true to herself, etc. Yeah, you know the drill, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Roll me a perception here.
If she's a troubadour, where's her horse?
You get the impression that she is just doing what she needs to survive. She's very cynical about it. She doesn't exactly like it, of course. Who would like just
She's
doing
probably
that?
not
She
related
would-
to the cause.
But she doesn't seem particularly invested in things, no. She's more just cynical in a dive bar and, yeah. Just some random person, really.
It might be nice to play a duet with you if you're as good as you say you are.
No.
No?
I don't seem to, you don't seem to understand how things work around here, so why don't you go find some other, uh, heartstrings to pluck?
Ah, very well. I step closer and I pull out a couple of gold. I would love to hear you play, though, while we enjoy our evening here.
I'm off the hook today.
Oh. And Kiba just kind of steps away. Just, oh,
He seems to be starting to get suspicious of you in some way.
meh.
As you're stepping back towards the group, the lady that's sitting there in this sort of like cropped up hairdo sort of leans up and sort of like puts a arm out a little bit, doesn't look at you, but does sort of nod over to the seat next to her.
And just kind of quietly take a seat and smile.
She doesn't exactly look you straight in the eyes, she makes this look run-of-the-mill. Those your friends.
Yeah. All accounted for.
You, don't seem to have a keen set of eyes on you for the character of a person, do you? That one's just in here to blow off the gold she made on the street.
Yeah, some days my senses are better than others. I've been through a lot today.
Lucky I'm here then.
Yes.
Who are you? You're asking a lot of questions.
Far too many. My name's Kiba.
Kiba. It wouldn't be the same Kiba that was at the Rushlight tournament, would it?
Do you recognize my loot?
I
Or my lair?
recognize the name. And the, well, willingness to go and speak to random people about things you shouldn't be speaking of around here.
Yes.
So I clocked you pretty easily for that.
I fully acknowledge my error.
Nevertheless, you and your friends are safe here. You can dispense with your disguises. Nobody's gonna rat on you.
Not even that one?
If you've been going around the city, they probably already know you're here, in some capacity. Especially after what I heard happened at the Harbor District earlier
Ooh.
today.
Well, that spread faster than I expected.
Word spreads quickly in a city full of bards. You get why, right?
I have been putting a few things together, yes.
Of course. In this city, everyone knows everything almost as quickly as someone can shout it to the rooftops. Everyone wants to be the first to break a story. Everyone wants to be the first to have the information that everyone else is craving. So yeah, they do know. At least something's happening. Especially after everything else. I'm sure you've had many encounters as you've been making your way through today.
So many.
He looks at the rest of you. Well, come on over. Take a seat. Or if you'd
Breakfast
rather we go
already.
somewhere more private. Once you give up your disguises, we can go somewhere very private.
Apparently sitting in one of the chairs already.
So you're saying it's okay to just drop it
dog
freely
table.
inside here?
If you don't believe me, we can go to one of the back rooms.
Oh, it's not that I don't believe you.
We would rather not bring the wrath of the guard down upon everybody here.
Well, we're in the shadow of one of the guard towers. You see right up there, right?
Right.
So, if they had any suspicions, they would have come busting down our doors already, yes? Well, you would think that. No, everybody's too spread thin to go after every nest of depravity he sees in this city, every nest of revolution. per se. Can't just go busting down doors when things are so fragile.
Can I do a insight check on her to kind of get a feel if she's actually part
Perception
of the
check, there's no
resistance?
insight.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Wouldn't it be funny if she wasn't the person we were looking for?
What if like there's one honey pot in this entire tavern and this is her?
She seems to be, she seems to know what she's talking about. She seems to be serious about what she's saying, and she certainly doesn't seem to be on Iravetti's side. Any of this.
I mean, I guess you seem okay. I'm kind of tired of pretending to be a dog.
Then come on. Bring yourselves over here. Mr. Liacenza, we're gonna take one of the back rooms. The man behind the bar sort of nods.
Ah, that's him.
So, the Callistrian, the Desnan seem to be the two open rooms at the moment. Points to the leftmost yellow one and the rightmost purple one. What's your
Personally,
fancy?
not fond of entering the Callistrian room, considering the proclivities.
Oh, they're just themed. These are hookah lounges for the students, mostly. Down and
I would very
outers.
much prefer the dozen one myself.
Alright. Over here.
Graf's gonna cough a bit as we enter the smoky area. How people stand this?
Let's
Oh,
keep
you
in
get
they
used to it
continue
after
to
a
run
few,
over each other.
You get
Oh,
used to
I've
it after a
fully
few
watched him do it.
accidental bits of alchemical mishaps.
Come on, Giraffe.
Reminds me of my time spending carousing with the high society.
I let down my disguise and just like, sit back. Oh, finally.
You won't find a safer place. Let loose your disguises and speak to me. I should introduce myself. Elora Nuski. That name should ring a bell if you know your history with this city.
Does it ring a bell?
Or your society.
I feel like this is a name that we heard in a conversation before.
So one amongst you, Parent actually in particular, you've read your history about Pitax. You're well prepared for it, and you remember before Uravetti was in charge, the bandit houses were in charge, but somebody had to be in charge of the military forces of the city, separate from the bandit houses. They didn't have their own retinues. There was a sort of council appointed military, and that military leader of the bandit houses was Elora Nuski.
Ah, that's why your name is familiar. You used to lead all the troops here.
Used to, before Iravetti got his grubby hands on this city. Damn council members couldn't keep a jewel in their hands if they, well, super glued it. What the hell's the name of the special glue?
Sovereign glue?
Sovereign glued it to themselves, yes. So,
It's, well, surely you know why we're here.
I know exactly why you're here. Bring that man down to justice of some sort.
But I want to make something clear before we go too much further with that.
Go right ahead.
I want to assure you that we're not here for any sort of conquest or anything remotely of that nature. We want to put the rightful rulers back in power.
Bandit houses. Many people want them back in power. Students not so much. They want their own little experiment to be run here. They've been reading a lot about Galt history and such.
I want to prevent a war. It won't end well for anyone. It doesn't matter who wins.
The only one in this entire city who wants war is Iravetti and his cronies. Everyone else knows that that war would be bad for business for them. We buy our weapons from outside the city, so nobody here is even benefiting from it themselves. Nobody here makes weapons and armor. It would only be the others. Daggermark, for example, shipping their weapons to us that would benefit from this. So you can be sure that the other river kingdoms don't give a damn about it, as long as they can sell some goods to us. Or you. Won't have any help from them.
No, I kind of figured this was just between us and Pytax, or Uravetti, I should say.
It's exactly what it is. And so, nobody's gonna stop you if you do decide to take over things here. Nevertheless, if you have this ideal position of the bandit houses taking control, that can work, yes. The students wouldn't like that, if you're trying to get their help, though.
You always make a new house.
Well, what might that look like?
What are they wanting? You mentioned there was some experiment that they were wanting to do.
Well, what do you know about Galt?
What do I know about that?
Society check.
Galt. I'm in on this one too.
That word sounds interesting enough that you'll want to roll it.
Galt is a nation to the east. It borders you guys to an extent as well. It borders the river kingdoms at least. You remember that Galt is a nation that is in perpetual revolution. That there is basically no real governing body except a council that's ever changing and is always being replaced by the will of the people, mostly through guillotines. Imagine permanent French Revolution is essentially what Galt is.
Oh,
Yikes.
So, they've learned a thing or two about revolutions from the poster child for revolutions in our world. And, well, when it comes to revolution, the old ruling classes getting back in power doesn't exactly, work out all that well. They want something new if there's going to be a revolution.
And let me guess, they haven't even come up with their idea of what that new leadership would look like.
Oh, they all have their different ideas. None of them actually come together to one cohesive whole for the student body. What I would do, honestly, is continue to work with the bandit houses, but also give some weak promises to the students about increased liberties and such. Maybe you can get that by them. If you insist on getting their aid. They're the only ones that do want to do things, well, differently around here.
I don't think I'm ready to face the guillotine yet.
It all depends. Do you want to face the guillotine from the students or the angry mob from the harbor workers? Everyone here is foaming at the mouths for something different. So it won't be that stable once you're done with your work here. You just have to decide who the winners are right now. So who's it gonna be? The students? The bandit houses? The Callistrians, even? Who do you want in charge? In truth, at the end of the day. Then we'll work from there.
Stability is very important to a city. If we give it over to the students, who knows what will happen? There'll be chaos.
If the students haven't even decided, then I'm not sure we can put that decision in their hands so freely.
Bandit houses are what are the ones with the historical precedents. They're
They
the ones that
do.
can carry this stability the quickest, I imagine.
There
And
is
on the
one.
other hand, they also lost their power.
They gave it away for nothing, remember?
Allegedly. What's the true story?
The true story? Everybody made use of that wand of his from Numeria. I'm sure of it. He lured them
Wand?
into a meeting, all the leaders of the bandit houses, into that warehouse, and the story goes that they lost the city in a game of cards, right?
I didn't believe that for a second.
Of course. They wouldn't agree to nothing like that, unless they were coerced in some way. That wand of his, or rather the rod that he wields, is a mind reader baton. Guys, you remember looking at the mind reader baton. It
Yeah.
changes minds. It sort of basically pulls out all free will from the mind and replaces it with whatever they want. It's a slavery instrument for the, what do they call it? The bad guys in Numeria.
Technically.
The technically, yes. Very bad guys. Super slavers in, like, wasteland area. So it's like he's using their tools, it seems.
It's basically a very convincing argument in pocket form, usually used by well, the sort of people I associated with, but they were basically slavers.
That had an effect on the minds of the bandit lords. Would they still be influenced to this day?
Oh, those bandit lords, they aren't around anymore. All of them then mysteriously died. Weeks,
How
months
convenient.
after.
That is
I
very
do remember
eyebrow
hearing about the
raising.
death of one of them. It slipped my mind.
The Joffrey Vescari boy had to come back to the city from his river pirate venturing. But Gaspar Liacenza is the other scion of the house. He's working behind the counter right now. How they've fallen. Lost the Iron Fox Armory and lost the trading house of theirs. This is their only possession left. It was sold off to a Cheliaxian due to, well, their accounts being basically busted after the elder Liacenza died. So, you would have to figure out how to give that back to the Liacenza. It was sold to Superius Mina, the Cheliaxian. You wouldn't want one of them in charge of one of the bandit houses, would you?
No. It was bad enough that they had one of Shellen's glaives.
So you are going to stick your fingers in the pie a little bit then. Change things. More than just give power back. You have to go and rip it out of the hands of those you don't want it to be in.
That's true.
Won't be so easy. Just give it back. Things have changed ever since they lost power. That Joffrey boy doesn't even want to stay here. He'd probably leave. You gave him that much pressure. And don't get me started about the Dark Winds. The Strokal house leads the Darkwind Trading House. They're Iravetti's lapdogs. So you wouldn't want one of them back in power.
We could simply just take over the city for ourselves.
That you could. That you very much could.
It tends to happen to any town we touch, honestly.
It would spread us awfully thin, however.
It's up to you, really. You can stick your fingers in the pie and try to shift things around and then leave it be. But then you'd just be invaders and trying to promote someone's government and then leaving it behind doesn't usually work out, historically. Cheliax did that quite often. And then Cheliax fell, and all the nations that they had before them very quickly shifted back to their old ways. Who knows, there might be another monarch that takes power after Iravetti. The only way you know for sure that this city isn't going to fall into another monarchy or another chaotic situation is if you take charge yourselves. The only way you know for sure. Up to you, though. Your principles will guide your actions here. Because At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't give one shit about what happens to this damn city. I just want Iravetti out of the way for what he did to me, the bandit houses I served, and to this city that I used to love. Once I'm done with this, I'm leaving. I just want him to get what he deserves.
Well, if we're to be taking over this city to put it back on the correct path, we might need somebody like you around to help.
You want me in charge?
You seem to know what's going on. You've commanded troops before.
I could be convinced. If you really want me to be some interim marshal of this place to keep control of people, keep them trying to grab power, while you do your dirty business of lining up your ducks here.
Of all the people we've talked to so far, you seem to be the most in it, I should say.
The most stable? Maybe. Maybe that's because I've spent most of my time camping outside the city, rather than living in this hive. So,
Hey, what better way of getting back at Iravetti by undoing everything he's done after the fact?
precisely. Precisely. I'm
I
no
think we're gonna-
Calistrian, by the way. Just
What
so
did
we're
you say?
clear. I'm no Calistrian. I don't need to stab at thee or whatever they say. I just want it done. I just want something changed. I'm as neutral as there is in this because I don't care what happens after. So you can trust on me on this. At the very least.
What do you all think?
I want to know what the students have to say, to actually hear their ideas for ourselves.
Go right ahead. They are a powerful propaganda force, those students. They have a lot of time on their hands, so they can be out in the street protesting while everyone else has to work. Make their ends meet.
They also have access to the news press.
That
They sure
do.
do.
They print it all for Iravetti.
Do you know who we would speak to here? There's many people out there, but maybe
Yeah,
you
we're
could
out
point
in the
us to the
tavern.
correct one.
Well, if you want to speak to anybody out in the tavern, there are a few I would recommend. Those near the bar. I believe south of Kintos, the lighthouse keeper is out there. And Ingress, poor Ingress, she's lost 2 husbands and a couple of kids to the damn wardens. You speak to her and you tell her how much you hate the wardens and you hate the Iravetti, and she'll give you everything she needs to give you. She runs the turning wheel up the road here.
The cheese shop.
Comes here at night usually, because this is where other people also commiserate about how much they hate the wardens and hate Iravetti.
Well, the wardens can just execute people.
Well, not
Whenever
just
they feel like
execute,
it.
they come up with some reason that this person needs to go to jail, and then they disappear. Nothing's ever heard from them again.
They fall out of a window or something.
Well, the palace is only a single story, but they disappear into the palace's bowels. There's probably some torturer down there who's doing the dirty work for Iravetti, getting information about anybody. I wouldn't put torture behind Iravetti, certainly not.
On that note, can you tell us anything about the palace? Have you been in there?
I have, but only before Iravetti came to power. I've heard that he's brought in many architects to change up the layout of the place, so that nobody remembers how it was laid out before he was ruling. Add secret doors, secret passageways, regular doors everywhere. It's called the House of 100 Doors for a reason. The mess, it's tangled. It's perfect made for a paranoid man like Iravetti.
Thank you for the information, at least. You've been
Ingress
a great
Quill.
help so far.
Yeah, and Ingress Quill, she knows a little bit more about that place because she makes deliveries to it every so often. Of course, under the guise of deliveries of cheese to the place. Somebody there really likes that cheese, by the way. She writes down anything she sees, anybody slipping through a secret door or anything like that. She has it all in a journal if you can convince her to give it to you.
Wow.
Other than that, there's not much else you haven't seen around the city looking at your map there. Maybe the bookshop north of the turning wheel, maybe the Strocal warehouse. I'll mark everything that might give you some options here.
Say, is there a magic shop in town?
Closest thing to it is the Crow's Feather here. It's a bookshop by an up-and-coming wizard.
Are they a Tengu like me?
Unfortunately not, no.
Can I see the disappointment in Kiba's eyes?
I went to visit Tianxia at some point then, perhaps. If you're that excited.
Yeah, don't get a lot of them around here. Yeah, magic shop, if you're looking for that, Crow's Feather can do you good. The academy's down to the south, but you already know that. Otherwise, the only other things you can say about the city are the, excuse me, Darkwind Trading House up here. But the Strokals, they're kinda on Iravetti's side in all this. And then there's the theater, the Red Crescent.
Oh no. You dragged me when I was dragging the box, and now it's huge.
Oh, whoops.
I'm certainly interested in the theater, although that might be for more personal reasons than anything.
Watch a nice play before we behead Irovetti.
Get some inspiration for the performance.
Well, the plays are all about Iravetti and his exploits. Nothing else really gets played there.
How would the
Yes, but
how would the actors there help our cause? Is there a reason to go there, you think?
Well, they might be able to help you a little bit. But main thing is, from what I've heard, one of their performers who was playing the role of well, one of Iravetti's many lovers has disappeared recently. They might want to know where she is.
Might not be bad then. I'm always down for helping people in need.
Other than that, you've been to most of the places in the city. Things are already boiling to a head, I will say. From what you've done, from the word that's being spread from the Desnans to Glistrians, I've been keeping my tabs on you. What people are talking about.
It's personally quick considering it's nighttime that we got here and still nighttime.
Well, you got here earlier than nighttime, but... oh, sort of nighttime, yeah. As you've probably already been told before, word spreads quickly in this city. Bards talk. Town criers are on every corner. And then, of course, whispers are made in every lounge and such, especially when things are so near to a boiling point. Excuse me, this smoke is a little much here.
Ah, sorry, blesses you.
Well, Saturday can be welcomed, but anyway, that's all I can give you. If you have any more questions about the situation, you know where to find me. But I recommend going out into the tavern, having some chats there, and figuring out how you're going to set this powder keg off. What's your main act, so to say?
Yeah. We need to figure that out. I thought we had it figured out, and then so much of that was called into question.
Bring us back to my beautiful maps. Patreon.com/KoboldDM. But yes, should have nods to y'all. Well, all up to you guys.
We'll be back soon enough to discuss further what we're doing.
Well, go for it. I'll be here.
Of course. Thank you for your time and your information.
Parents gets out of this room because it probably stinks in there.
Yep.
Having
You
imprecise
coughing.
scent is probably not good.
Oh yeah, you hear coughing from the other rooms. You hear, again, people whose voices don't seem all that aged. Teenagers and young adults from the college seem
Yeah, that's
to.
about right.
Well,
Living the college life.
yeah. Step back out into the main tavern space here.
Parents did drop his dog disguise for now.
Mhm.
You're almost here, so.
People don't seem all that surprised at all.
Oh,
One
okay.
person's like, "Oh shit, is that a dragon?" Oh, no. You know, usual.
Sure.
Kobold time then.
Would you like anything?
I do think I could use something.
How about a round for everybody in the bar here?
Around for everyone. Well, I
Sure, why not?
heard the only place that does that is the Generous Dragon over in. Wait a minute. Aren't you the rulers of
You know,
Scaleport?
These things happen.
Of course. Let's give a round to everyone here. They want to know that they're freedom fighters are here.
I feel people with drinks are much happier and easier to talk to.
Ah, that they are. Until they get too many of them, then I have to kick them out. We've
That's
got
why
one
we're
guy
only-
outside.
That's why
or
we're only
perhaps
doing
put them
one
into a
round.
fountain.
So, what brings you here? As he's rushing around, getting bottles for people, laying out mugs for all the drinks that are being sent out.
Largely learning about the situation, learning about people's hopes and wishes for the future of the city, learning as many viewpoints as we can, and getting
Don't mention the
exhausted.
dagger.
Well, I have rooms upstairs if you need them. On the house, by the way. Nobody's really staying in town, or has money to stay in the town, with the war going on. Or supposed war.
It's very one-sided, it would seem.
Aye. But it's on the side that has all the weapons and armor. Say, you wouldn't have had anything to do with my, Iron Fox armory up there? I heard something happened.
I mean, there's not many arms left at the moment. I'll just put it that way.
Aye, well... Shame that you didn't kick them all out, but... I'll still do a favor to the people and make it harder for those enforcers to enforce.
Yeah, there's only so much that we can do at a time.
Aye.
We're trying to lie low.
Well... There is, the other matter of things. My trade house. Falling away to that Cheliaxian.
Yeah,
Which gave me an offer I couldn't refuse, being so deep in debt, having those wardens breathing down my neck telling me they're gonna evict me otherwise. You spoken to her?
assuming that she's the same one who visited the tournament, then yes.
Yeah, that's Zapirius Mina. So it's all a front. Science or whatever it is.
The Cambion experiments.
She was very interested in getting the blood of tieflings.
Nephilim experiments. We don't call them
Nephilim,
cavions anymore.
Oh,
Or tieflings, really.
wait, it's not Cambions?
Yeah, maybe still Cambions, but Cambions are like devil-like people. They're not like tieflings or
Um,
anything like that.
Nephilim are like separated into like into Cambion and the other one.
Oh, okay. Is that how they did it? All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look here. I'd like my places back. I'd like my establishments back. You sure you can't do anything about that?
Is the option open to buying them back?
Dying them? Well, she doesn't want to leave.
We can probably go have a word then.
Maybe.
But from what I understand, she's not going to go back to her homeland. She's out here to stay.
Well, I'm already despondent enough. I'm still lucky that we still have our vineyards in Servain, but we've lost so much power in this city. Don't even call us a bandit house anymore.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I gotta get back to work.
Man,
You are there, sister.
this city is all sorts of messed up, huh?
A little bit.
Yep.
There's a few others
What was
around the
that
bar.
name of the other country that had the constant revolts?
Dalt.
Galt. Galt.
That's what the students wanted to potentially emulate. Yes.
Is that G-A-L-T? Is that how
Yes,
you
it's in the
spell it?
chat there, in game.
Thank you.
You guys want to look it up? It's like pretty common knowledge about like stuff. You know, you can look it up on the wiki if you want. But yeah, there's a few other people here, but it is late at night. You guys can rest as well. Up to you guys, whatever you want to do. Very
Probably
close to
rest
the.
a bit.
Sorry, go ahead.
We should probably rest a bit.
Yeah, but if there's still people here to talk to,
At least talk to the cheese lady.
So this lady with a straw hat leaning up against the bar, chewing on an apple and spitting out the seeds. What are you looking at?
Our one-way ticket to success, potentially.
Is that a new pickup line?
I mean,
I'll have
maybe
you
for
know,
some
I've
people.
been through. Oh, you're not here for that?
I mean, not particularly.
Good then. I'm not looking. I already lost enough of them to those damn wardens.
we heard you're the foremost expert on cheese.
And opening doors.
Cheese and doors. Hmm? Someone's been telling secrets about me, haven't they?
Only good things.
Well, I'll tell you. I need to know who I'm working with. Yeah, I know, you're some fancy pantsers from another nation. But tell me truthfully, can you show me can you tell me what you're gonna do with those, wardens of them? I don't want you namby-pambling around telling me you're gonna give them all amnesty for what they did.
Well, they're with Tartuccio, no? They're very connected to him.
That's
They're
true,
a part of
Chio.
him. Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Names are difficult for me.
That's all.
Can't wait to meet the Kobold Castruk.
Oh no,
Stop.
it was always him.
Look, I've already done my piece. I already lost enough of good family to them. What makes you think you're gonna be any different anyway?
Have you heard of our nation? Where we're from?
I've heard from it, yeah. I've heard you have all sorts of problems with monsters and demons and undead and shit.
Yeah, we wipe them all out every single time.
And you're gonna wipe out the wardens here, ain't you?
I mean, they are pretty close to monsters, aren't they? In your opinion, at least?
That they damn are. Roll me a diplomacy check, Panther Keeper.
Hmm. This is Parent doing most of the talking, so.
Okay. You want to take the lead on it?
I'll. Can I want to accompany you on my lyre that I have with me
And play a song?
for the aid. For the aid.
Alright. Plucking at the strings of rage, anger, frustration, stoking them.
I'm re-rolling that one.
I had to re-roll an A check, but yeah.
Okay. You gotta understand. I'm doing it with performance. I simply cannot allow a 1 to happen on a performance.
Alright.
It's a
So,
pride thing.
Parent, with Kiba's aid, actually, because of Kiba's aid, she sort of seems to definitely sort of start to consider, alright, you seem to know what you're talking about. Look here. I've, my turn and wheel there, it's a refuge for, there we go. My turn and wheel there is a refuge for people, in trouble with the law, you see. But I also know a thing or two about the inside of his palace, in this here journal as she sort of lifts it up. This should help you find them, secret passageways, secret doors, and all that.
That'll be very helpful because you know what we're here to do. I'm sure you can make the connections.
Oh, I know what you're here to do. I just wanted to make sure you have the guts for it. You seem to. So, I'm going to entrust this journal to you. Take it and go cut off some heads. Do it for my sons and my husband. Those wardens deserve it.
We'll make sure to take out any of those wardens we can as well along the way.
We've killed more innocent people than them.
Yarmouth Stewart.
Yarmo, shut up.
Here. Take the journal. It'll help you find your way around and help you avoid the guards' patrols as well. So basically, this will give you a bonus to searching for doors and then also for stealth checks because you have more knowledge of the interior of the place.
Excellent.
Love that.
Oh, stealth checks, wonderful.
We know the help we can get.
Alright, let me just commiserate here. Thanks for the drink, by the way. Just turns away.
Enjoy. That was easy enough.
What about her?
See a woman's just sort of like, fiddling with a sextant, sort of spyglass there. Is this gonna work, or cheapskate? Lost a lot of business.
You into cartography and exploration?
Well, yeah, I am. I ought to. I'm the lighthouse keeper. Even though I should be at the lighthouse at night, my subordinates are up there, you know. It's Alpha
What brings you out
Kintos.
this way?
Well, why does anyone come into a tavern at night? Come on now.
So I take it you're from the working lighthouse then.
The working one on the north, yeah. I make good do with it. I make it work, I keep things going, I keep the ships coming in and out, and I keep them from wrecking themselves up on the devil's tusks. And there are quite a few wrecks that still sit on them. Why they're called devils. So what will it be, huh?
I suppose. I don't know how much of anything you've overheard.
I've overheard plenty here. There's a reason I'm here. In this place in the first place. I don't exactly like, all the work they're having me do. Maybe...
Are they having you do things that are different from how you would normally operate?
They've had me, mislead some ships away from harbor. They've had me do some Nasty little things, yes.
Ooh.
It's annoying, because I just want ships to go through. That's it. I'll flash signals, do whatever I need to do, but now I'm being told that some ships just aren't good for our waters. It's ridiculous. Maybe I could change that, if I had the right, coin, perhaps.
Hmm.
100 gold pieces. I'll forget about some of the work I'm supposed to be doing and go back to just doing regular work.
Yes, those were creatures.
And that could theoretically. Hmm.
Help out those working in the harbor, certainly.
We definitely need that. That's for sure.
Give signals too. What'll it be, huh? Let's make
I'll
this quick.
invest.
Very well. 100 gold pieces, and
And
everything
platinum.
you need is done. And maybe you could tell her about maybe the things you want to do to coordinate things around the city, stuff like that. It's a beacon across the city, people see it,
Yeah.
so. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Bonus for you. Helps out.
Memorize.
And yeah, you've met a lot of people, you've talked to a lot of people today, but it has gotten near to midnight in terms of, well, today's date.
I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
So, as you guys head up to sleep, you think back on your experience today and all the people that you've coordinated with, talked to, all the experience of the city life here, Hiba's duet with Enemy, Giraffe's meeting with the Desnan priest, you meet up with the Callistrian, giving you a new perspective on things, and, well, y'all level up. Level 15.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I know
Level
for this.
50.
And yes, I know for the stream it says 13 still. That's annoying to always change, like the 13 to 14 to 15. I always forget to do it. But they're actually at level 15 right now. But yeah, we'll do it now.
Wonderful, just in time for us to kill Iravetti. It's gonna help a lot.
Change up the music while we're doing this. Taxian theme. There we go. But yeah, if you guys have any questions as we're going through, just let me know. Talk your way through it. All that.
So, Gaz, you want to bully mages, right?
Absolutely.
So, should I... I'm gonna start crafting these. Should I put the stupid gas in your hands?
Yes.
Alright. That's good then.
Oh boy, this level 15 is so big for me. I get greater weapon specialization, I get better reflex saves, I'm mastering them now, and improved flexibility. I'm gonna say now that I am changing my improved flexibility a bit. I checked it earlier. I'm getting disorienting opening so that my opportunity attacks leave opponents flat-footed until the start of my next turn. And I'm getting improved twin riposte.
Alright.
So what, you're posting two things on Reddit at the same time?
I don't have any words for you.
Eva has learned a lot from all of his experiences in having to be subtle. I am now trained in stealth.
Wow.
Oh boy.
There we go.
I didn't have very many options to pick from. I was like, wait a minute, yeah. I reached the point where I'm level 15 So I can obviously bump up my strength and dex, and that's awesome. But if I try to put upgrades in charisma and constitution, they're going to be partial upgrades. It's like, oh well, I that'll
Yeah.
let me make them higher at level 20.
Mhm.
So it's like, maybe it's time to bump up my intelligence and wisdom a tiny bit.
I mean, this is totally gonna be a mythic campaign, right?
I mean, it goes to level 20.
I feel like this is going to be better in the overall. I got my strength. I got my strength up to 20. I'm really happy about that.
Mhm.
My first legendary to perform.
Get ability score boosts?
15, baby.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. With an intelligence increase, you have to pick a language.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My constitution is now at +5.
There we go.
Awesome.
I have 250 max health.
More than me. I'm at 231. Love it. What would be appropriate for me to pick up? What have I been exposed to?
Draconic.
Good.
You could also pick up something you haven't been exposed to.
Oh, yeah, I suppose I could do that. I just don't know if that makes sense.
If it's accurate, it makes perfect sense. You know, just the Eldritch seeping into your mind.
Ooh.
I also need to pick up a language. Good grief.
I take Russian. No.
I'm picking up Fae so I can appropriately insult any future Fae we come across.
Oh my gosh, that's not a bad idea. I am very tempted to take that myself, honestly. with all the dealings we've had involving Fae and how they've been constantly like on our consciousness.
Gas has made his dislike of Fae very clear, so him learning it out of spite very much seems fitting.
I'm gonna take it too. You and me both.
Perfect.
I feel like I can easily explain that, like picking up bits of that over the past couple years, etc. It's been a couple years, right?
Hmm.
It's been about 2,
Definitely.
yeah. You can explain it as your Armor teaching it to you. He knows Fae since the very start.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect, perfect. I honestly didn't have like any other language that I even was consciously aware of like wanting, so it's like this makes sense. It makes sense. I have Die Hard because I need it.
I finally picked up incredible initiative.
Yay! This is a very easy level for me, except for the picking a language thing. That was hard.
On myself, County Acumen, I'll be Master in all saves by level 17.
Nice.
I think my level's done. That's the nice thing about Fighter. It's not hard to put it together. Okay, maybe that's not because it's Fighter, but because when I get bored, I just go to Pathfinder wikis and like look at what are my options when I level up. The next few levels. Oh, that looks like fun. Oh, that would be bad. Well, that would be good. Why does this feat exist? You know, thoughts like that.
Yeah.
I feel so powerful. I was worried about
a quick bathroom break.
Mhm.
being able to get improved twin repost my anyways. So twin repost.
Mhm.
would it count as a reactive strike for the sake of disorienting and opening? Given the wording, I'm thinking no.
Let's have a look here.
Because twin riposte.
There it is. So you can use twin even if you aren't confident. And twin riposte itself. Clever parry with one hand. Make a melee strike. So sorry, what are you saying? What are you asking about this?
If I make use one of my reactions to make an attack with twin riposte,
Right.
that I'm thinking that it wouldn't trigger disorienting opening.
When you hit a creature as part of a reactive strike is different from a twin riposte.
Okay,
Reactive
that's what I
strike
thought.
is this feature
Yeah,
specifically.
I figured I'd clarify that now rather than later,
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
own sake.
Reactive strike isn't a feature of the game like it is in D&D 5e, but it's an ability like characters have or
And
don't
it's a lot
have.
better described.
Yeah. I'm just so amazed every time I play Baldur's Gate 3 that I can cast spells right in somebody's face for like literally no kickback. Amazing to me. You can also stand up from prone and not get attacked.
You just walk up to them, say, "Let me break it down for you," and you do a breakdance. They can't even attack you for that.
Yep. 5e. At least everyone starts somewhere, so.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Oh, and if you are like done with the character level up, move your token over to the doors of this place. And don't forget to rest for the night as well.
Oh, I need my read back, yeah.
Oh boy, I'm so happy all my spell slots got restored.
Just leaves us with Parent.
You knew this would happen.
Yep.
Spellcaster hell. New day. Here's your stupid gas. Gas.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, and you can now just give them over to your allies.
Good enough.
Alright. So, as you guys wake up bright and new in the day, there are different people here. Most of them just not people that you really need to talk to. Gaspar is still running around doing his business here, but otherwise, the day is yours for the city here.
So, I think that we should stop by that crow's feather place. I think I need to prepare a little bit more.
The Crow's Feather, the
Yes.
academy itself, and what else is on our agenda today?
I'll look at that
Maybe the keep if we want to kill him today.
Interesting.
The warehouse too. I don't know if we should go to the academy itself or not. That's up to you guys. But I want to go to the Crow's Feather. I need to find some magic that will help protect our minds against that rod that he has.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You guys heading up
Yeah,
in
that could be a
direction
very
first?
short fight if he used that against us and succeeded.
I vote for the Crow's Feather. If you all want to go someplace else, we sure can.
Well, I do want to go to the academy, but nothing says we have to do the academy first.
I assume you guys all take on disguises as well today?
Yeah, I'm not walking out as a bird openly.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, what his parents gonna be first? You know, we can go from there, build around that.
Dogs are getting so boring.
Different types of dogs. Chihuahua.
I can't.
Oh, yeah, that's too small.
Very big chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just switch to another type of dog, I guess.
Alright. Everyone else just doing something bland, something like non-intrusive, anything like that, right?
Yep. Yep. Regular townsperson, human.
Okay. So,
I could be literally anyone.
with that, you guys head towards the Crow's Feather. Do quickly draw me a little line so we can remember where we've been and all that. Where your direction is for the Crow's Feather, like the path here, as you've usually done.
Do you want to go down Cheese Road, or do you want to see what's also present on the road next to it? I'll make
Whatever
an
you choose.
executive decision
Mhm.
on Cheese Road.
Just go straight up, I would say.
It's always better to make an executive decision and then have somebody say no instead of having to have everyone say yes.
Yes, we go up the road towards the Crow's Feather.
Yeah.
Alrighty. As you guys are heading up in this direction, there are seemingly a lot of guards on the streets today. It seems like they've caught wind of things becoming insurrectionary. And, well, there is like someone being taken away. I didn't do anything at all. And you have to go by because you have greater business here, unless you do want to stop that. But
Nope.
there's just a lot going on here with guards. And someone sort of like, one of the guards comes out of a person's house. It looks smashed into. There was nothing there. Just neighbor just said something about it. Well, we need
Neighbors
some.
reporting each other now.
Oh yeah, if somebody
Some-
hates their neighbor, they can just report them to the. That's what they did in the Soviet Union. Anyway,
We're getting historical with it, yeah.
yeah. And well, as they get out, with empty-handed, they look towards your group. Hey, you there? Come over here.
Huh?
Yeah, you.
What's the problem?
You guys approach. Group of 4,
I guess.
5 actually.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to.
What's your business?
Going on a walk. Is that illegal?
Well, it's illegal if you're walking somewhere insurrectionary. So where are you walking to?
Just around to enjoy the air.
Nobody does that in this city.
No.
Better have a better answer for me.
Was going to your mum's house.
What did you say? No,
I'm
repeat
going
yourself.
to your mother's house.
My mother's house. What are you?
Treat
Arrest
her
them.
better than your father ever could.
We're just going.
This is slander against the king's rightful guard. One of them brings
ignore
out some
that
cuffs.
one. Ignore that one, please. We're just doing a little shopping.
Roll me
It's
a
going to the Crow's
diplomacy.
Feather.
Or roll me a deception check. Or it still has to be deception because you are literally just, disguised and hiding yourselves. Yeah.
Totally good with that. Is this open?
Yeah. Or no. Deception's always blind.
Thank you.
You don't know if they're
How
suspicious
rarely
of
actually
you.
roll it.
Mm-hmm. So, shopping. Well, if you're shopping at the Crow's Feather, you must have a lot of money. We don't want to get involved with these ones. Just let that one by. Watch it, all right? You know your betters. Step aside.
We're quite a fan of classism when it's on our side.
Once we're just completely out of earshot,
Yeah, you guys
say-
go past.
do not provoke them.
Draft. And
He was asking for it.
No, he was not.
Yeah, it was at least a little funny.
not really.
If they try to arrest us, we would have no choice but to try to fight back somehow, in which case our cover would be completely blown and all of our efforts would go to waste. Do you want that?
Well,
No.
it sounds more
You
like
want
that
to
would just
ruin this
expedite
entire
our
thing?
plans.
Let's just go.
You guys head up the street a little bit more, dodging guards here and there, and you find yourselves in front of the Crow's Feather. It seems to have been once a sleepy inn, in fact, as it's a crow that's been stuffed into a pillowcase. Is their insignia? Crow's Feather. It's a feathered pillowcase, of course. But this place seems to have shifted, not from an inn to what seems to be a library of a sort, or at least a magical collection of books. You guys head inside?
Definitely.
Huh, a library. I don't recall getting an invitation here.
Step inside, and at this time of hour, it seems... Well, on the inside, it still has a lot of the accoutrements of a inn, but it's turned almost into this, like, bougie coffee shop / library sort of place, like a Barnes & Noble, basically. No,
Oh,
it's
you're
not
paying
very
for the
bougie.
atmosphere, right?
Yeah. But as you walk in, there's just one young man that's like sort of leaning behind the inn counter there, or what was the inn counter, reading a book. He's got a stack of books next to him. He sort of lifts up his glasses. You don't look like my usual clients, and is that a dog? Can't allow a dog in here. They'll get all over the books.
He's a service dog. Can't be without him, you see.
Well, I don't believe in service dogs. They're kind of a sham.
I just want to say, did you say you can't read without him?
Yeah.
Can't read without him. Roll me a diplomacy check. Yarmsir.
Oh goodness.
Oh, I can't do. I'm untrained at that.
Go ahead and roll.
Mhm.
Or roll a society check. Maybe you can use some of your knowledge of how service dogs work and your rights or
just-
whatever.
Real quick at it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for a RP session, so we have plenty to bank.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't help.
Fine. Just don't let it piss on anything. Yeah, that happened too many times.
He's very well trained. Don't worry.
Terrence narrows his eyes at the guy.
I assure you, this one would never do such a thing.
The name is Rold Salinas, by the way. This was my father's place. He liked to run an inn, but I wanted to be a wizard, and now I'm a wizard. Who has a tower. Funny how things work out. What are you here for?
Magic.
Magic. That kind of magic. I see. You can find whatever you want here. I sell to the few wizards in town. Most people are bards around here. But I have a stock pick here. Hold on. Sort of goes and picks up things, puts out crates of scrolls and spell books and such, staves, wands. Basically anything you'd find in a wizardry shop, he has here, parents. So whatever you were planning to buy, you can get it.
I was gonna ask him questions, but that kind of is difficult when you're pretending to be a dog.
Well, how do you do it?
You got a message, right? The spell.
Not prepared.
Alright, so say that we're dealing with some kind of how should I say this? Some difficult fey folk who have mind enchanting spells.
Okay, difficult, faithful.
That
You
sounds like
need-
all faithful.
And you need to resist these.
Aye?
That's something that would be of big concern. to my companions and I.
Okay. Be wary of this Fae.
Of
Especially those
course.
ones in the Thousand Voices. But, sorry, Parent, what exactly were you looking for?
So I'm not exactly familiar with all the spells, but
Mhm.
spells that would protect you against basically what that rod sounds like it does, which is some sort of mind control.
There is Mind Blank, an 8th rank spell that gives you a +4 against mental effects. Otherwise, the best you can do is Bravo's Brew, which gives you a +1 over your usual item bonus to saves because you're runes. Otherwise, there's not really spells other than Mind Blank, which is an 8th rank, that negate or try to negate that sort of thing. Otherwise, you just want Dispel Magics in your inventory. If that helps.
Gotcha. I think there was one spell I read before. It was a lower level spell. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it quick.
Sure. So, yeah, how do you want coffee, or?
You're a wizard. You know all about familiars. You don't mind if mine speaks, do you?
Oh, that service dog is also a familiar? Sure, yeah.
These things happen.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
needs permission to speak? That's a little bit... Alright.
Nah, we just didn't want weird looks.
Oh, sure, yeah. Speak, dog.
This is very insulting.
We don't mean it like that. Anyway, let's focus on the task at hand.
I think I've heard of a spell that does what I need. It
Oh,
might
what?
help. It's called Mind of Menace.
Mind of Menace. Yes, I know that one. Popular one, actually. I do have some scrolls of it, if you wish to have it.
Yes, I will buy a few.
Of high ranks?
Doesn't need to be hiring.
Oh, it doesn't. Wait, let's see.
Yeah,
Oh,
it gives you...
DC.
Yeah, it gives you a reaction for DC, essentially, for, frightened stuff, and... Yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of what you're looking for. Yeah.
It would help, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, buy as many as you want. Trust you with that. I don't have a shot for it, of course.
Yeah, I'll add a few scrolls for that.
You hear
maybe
what's
I
been
should
happening outside? I don't really get out much, but I've seen a lot more wardens around.
Oh,
They're
you're a wizard, alright?
stopping people seemingly at random. It's really frustrating.
Yes, it's quite frustrating. Luckily, they haven't come into my shop yet.
What would you do if they did come into your shop?
Probably, leave. Use a transposition spell. I have one prepared in my mind today. 5th rank, of course, so I can go a mile away from you.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
Also rather conspicuous and makes it hard to return.
Well, I would do it when they wouldn't, they wouldn't see me doing it, of course. I would go into a back room. I would say, hey, excuse me, I need to go somewhere. And then I just disappear. They can't find me. I'm a wizard.
A solid plan.
So you'd probably help the wardens then if they were in here too, right?
No, I hate the wardens. They're gonna
well.
probably stomp all over my books and tear everything down just looking for some insurrection or something stupid like that.
No kidding.
The wardens are kind of inept, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't care about Castor Giuliovetti. I do well enough. I don't care about the revolutionaries students or whatever that come in here from time to time trying to spread their propaganda to me. I just don't want this wardens going into here, breaking the place. What's a peace?
That's fair
This
enough.
would be nice.
It would be nice if everybody in this city just got along and there weren't any issues.
I have heard some rumors, but I wouldn't tell it to just anyone. I would have to tell it to someone who knows what they're, well, talking about when it comes to arcane magic. Are any of you arcanists in a way?
A dog?
You're familiar. Are you not?
It's complicated.
Okay. I thought.
I call it a amnesiac magic messing up. I
Yes.
can answer for it.
Oh, he turned into a dog. Okay.
It's complicated, like we said.
Oh yes, a baleful polymorph is something that happens to the best of us.
Yes, let's go with that. I am quite talented as a wizard. Watch.
I'll aid.
Parents cast Shrink on Giraffe.
Oh, never mind. I
Thank
guess
you.
we can do that.
Hey!
You get smaller. Get into that sort of tiny size of a small ant knoll. Oh, wonderful.
See? I have other spells too, but you probably wouldn't appreciate them being cast in your fine establishment.
Of course, I mean, I appreciate a demonstration. You seem to know your stuff. But what about those incantations you were doing? They were a little bit different. Where is the tetrahedral sort of this, that? I need an arcana check.
You want that? You want that blind or public?
Public. Is you're proving
I'll
to
aid
him.
that.
Is it public? Mhm.
Yeah, it's public, yeah. You see, a
Unless you would like to
tetrahedral
do that.
polychroma incantation is different from a pentahedral polychroma incantation. It's a slight adjustment, but in Parenth you can sort of match him word for word very well, in fact. You sort of show him up, essentially. Oh, alright. I seem to be bested. Yes, there are some rumors about polymorphing. Or monsters of some sort in the palace, in fact. Don't let anybody tell you this, or don't let anybody else know this, but several of Irveti's closest allies, as I hear it, perhaps even his current consort, are monsters capable of changing their shape. Just as you have, in fact.
See was just a true seeing spell, probably, in that case.
Yes, a true seeing spell would see right through those. Absolutely. True seeing is very good for everything. I wish people used it more often.
I'm good with people not.
Their guards, they only cast see the unseen. They don't see true sight. So they only see through an invisibility cloak. They don't see through your disguises with that. Speaking of, yes, I know that you are disguised. I cast true seeing on myself every day.
Of course.
Oh, thank
I was
goodness.
just
Yeah.
running through it, you know.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm the
Figures.
owner of a magic shop. Of course, I would run true sight every day.
We could've
Apologies
skipped the
for-
whole-
The whole dog thing. We couldn't be too sure.
No, I thought it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
They enjoy this far more than I do.
Yes, well, you're the one with all the power in this group. Seeing as your friend here has been shrunken. Couple of
Parent
sizes.
smiles.
The one with all the arcane power.
Arcane power is the best power in this world. There's a reason that wizards are the most well-known among us.
The most well-known what?
Well-known among us, Sussy.
Yeah,
Yes,
probably not
okay.
winning this one.
Yes, among us, yes.
Among Us. On that note, I'm gonna buy a true seeing scroll so I can learn it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a very, very good spell, especially at high level.
Apparently.
It's also a very expensive scroll.
Yep.
That spell's probably gonna save our butts.
Are you gonna do as he does and cast it every day?
How long does it last? It only lasts 10 minutes.
He has a lot of slots.
Is every slot of his just true seeing?
Well, he has a staff. You can extend it, you know, whenever. I don't know. His place has an enchantment of true sight everywhere or something. I don't know.
I'll
It's
use it when
DM
we
magic.
need it.
Or you could have 144 slots.
I guess. How?
Thank you for
Yeah,
your...
magic.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the scrolls. It will help in our endeavors.
You could have a whole cabal of wizards, of like 500 wizards casting True Sight on him in 10-minute rotations.
Ah, yes, of course.
An
Well,
army of wizards we do not have.
thank you for your business. I must bid you good day, as I'm going to go back to read. This has been all fascinating, of course.
And if anybody asks if you've seen a dragon, you certainly have not.
No, of course I'm not. Farewell.
Dragon in the city? Preposterous. Goodbye.
Good day to you.
The
So,
trading house is near.
The Darkwind Trading House, isn't that the one that's aligned with the Iravetti? I
Well,
think
nothing a torch can't fix.
the other trading house is over by the Desnan Temple. That's the one we wanted to go to, right?
Is it?
yes, that is the
Oh.
Serpent's Breath trading house. That was Leah Chenza's old trading house before it was sold to Zapiri Yasmina, the Cheliaxian.
If we want to burn these ones down, that's probably fine.
Yeah, but that would maybe. That might be a little too overt.
Well, surely Gaz has some kind of automatic incendiary device that could go off when we're perhaps about to take action.
I just want to say that I can shoot a fireball over 1,000 feet.
Fascinating.
Unless the house is magical, I do not have any such device.
I mean,
In
you
that
could
case,
attach a
if
mine
that's-
to a wagon again.
Oh no, not again.
If that's the wrong trading house, then maybe just back down to the academy.
What is
the measuring
this?
tools
Oh,
on this map accurate, by the way?
You can hold control and drag, and yes, it is accurate for this map.
Yes,
The-
it is in fact at the edge of his fireball range.
the city watching as a fireball gets lobbed from the keep.
You want to go to the academy, Kiva? We sure can.
Alright. You guys have been wanting to go to the academy, so let's go that way. Pass by the
Let's
falling
find the line.
star once again, and head up the hill towards the Academy of the Arts. It is this, quite sized, like, single building academy, but it's a very large single building. And it seems like many of the smaller buildings around here are part of that sort of college town sort of thing, with other sort of services and student housing and stuff like that. As you arrive, it's an incredible sight. There is art everywhere. There are statues of marble, and there are paintings, and there are mosaics being in the works. But all of it, every single one of them, is either of Iravetti's followers or commanders, or his exploits fighting dragons in Numeria, fighting off the Technic League, or just of the city itself. All of it is aggrandizing his prestige, the city's prestige, and nothing else, it seems.
I feel bad to be a student here, honestly, being forced to just make statues of him over and over and over again.
These are some of the biggest revolutionaries of the city, aren't they? I can see why.
As you guys are-
They're not very creative about, defacing the works, though.
As you guys are stepping up here onto the quad of it, you see a familiar face sort of guiding a couple of students around, freshman students. And here is, well, the main hall. It is our only main hall, of course, but we make do with it. There's plenty of room inside for all of the Iravetti artwork that you can come up with, of course. You can make artwork of the city, but, you see what we do around here. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's wonderful. Yes. You see her there, walking around with students.
Quite as I was attempting to go back through my notes to try to find what I wrote about this person before.
You
He
met
didn't
her
even
at
like
the
your
Rushlight
Becky either,
tournament.
so
Yeah, we
What
met
did you say?
her.
yeah.
We met her at the Rushlight tournament at the school's
Yeah,
art tent.
I know that. I'm just trying to figure out what I wrote about her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I did.
You remember her being pretty like putting on a good face for everything, but then behind closed doors she's very frustrated.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
guess you look for specific details because those are the general strokes that I'm pretty sure everyone remembers.
I'll try to get her attention.
Oh, students, how about you go off and some ice cream or something? I don't know. Whatever people do this day.
That was easy.
Yes, hello. Thank you for getting me away from those freshmen.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I was doing you an injustice.
No, you're probably doing them justice, but enough of that. Welcome to the Academy of the Arts. Why are you here? You don't look like students.
Oh, and I get a little bit closer. I kind of lower my voice and I say, I'm Kiba from the tournament.
Oh, I remember your voice. Yes, let's, but we speak somewhere else. Bring your
Oh, that'd be
compatriots over here. And she guides you to the side of the building, wherein she sort of takes a paintbrush from what seems to be a holster at her side and sort of draws an incantation in the air. Don't mind this. This is a bardic sort of magic. But
Oh no, I love it.
it's an illusion, yes. She's sort of like, there's a mosaic of Iravetti, of him standing grandly atop the city, that is sort of washed away, seemingly just an illusion, a permanent one, to reveal a secret door. Yes, I know this is all quite fantastical, but we have to do everything we can to avoid Iravetti's gaze. He sends many enforcers here to ensure we're doing his dirty work. Come inside.
Gladly, thank you.
Steps in, and it seems to be a sub-level of the university here, where there are a couple of other students, and they all seem to be working on art that is not aggrandizing Iravetti, much of it also being propaganda against Iravetti. Flyers sort of strewn about the room, sort of in the works. They have a small printing press down here themselves that they seem to be stacking up flyers from. Now here, we can speak freely.
I like what I'm saying.
And you can drop those disguises as well.
Thank you. I dropped mine.
Good work on them, by the way. Very creative. Especially the dog.
We couldn't think of anything better than the dog.
Sort of
He was a
works for
horse
him.
earlier on until our cover was blown the first time.
Oh, a horse, yeah, that would be a little bit unwise, but... Yes, welcome. I've heard some things have been happening around the city. I was wondering if it was your doing. But... I must tell you that... I'm a little bit worried.
Understandable.
I worry... for the safety of my students. You see...
There's safety.
Well, of course. What will
Oh.
happen if Iravetti catches wind of all of this? If we decide to go out onto the streets and start putting up posters? I don't want
Of
them to get it
course.
caught in harm's way.
Didn't you have a plan for this sort of outcome? After all, it seems you've been preparing to put posters up for a while now.
Preparations, yes, but it's another matter altogether to pull the trigger, let us loose the bowstring.
It's getting tense around the streets. We can already tell that we're going to have to move a little faster than we originally intended.
Of course, it's spreading fast. If you set off anything, if you publicly display that the time is nigh, I think that people rush out into the streets. I've heard Callistrians have been readying their blades in the dark. Desnans have been speaking about a better future. Everything is at a brink here. And I'm
Certainly
worried.
no shortage of allies.
Just ensure, please, that my students will not be harmed, or things won't get so out of hand that they will.
The idea is that we are not going to have fighting in the streets. That's not what we want. We don't want people against people here.
My students know how to run a peaceful protest. Not like those Calistrians who will probably take the heads off of somebody's shoulders, or those dock workers who will just smash and burn. We can distract the guard for you, if that's what this is really about, too. I'm sure you're going to be the ones who do that dirty business of taking out Iravetti himself.
That is our intent. We
He's the
can't
root of all
take
this.
him out. Then at least bring him into custody so that he can face justice from those who live here.
Justice. Well, justice to many of my students is the guillotine. In that Galtish fashion, I find it a little bit grisly, but when students are living like this, they get grisly ideas.
I suppose that does make things easier for us if you won't need to hold back.
But otherwise, they don't want to go around and kill people. They just want the head of all of it.
This city is probably going to need the support of all of the academy once this is all through as well.
Once this
But
is
not
all...
just the academy, of course.
Well, once this is all through, what are you planning for the city?
That's something we need to discuss.
Well, we should discuss it now so the students know what they're protesting for, right? Besides Iravetti's head, they have to have a ideal future for us that they are chanting.
And what is this ideal future that the students here want? What do they believe in?
That's the problem, isn't it? I was hoping you had something to say, something to give them, some future to provide for them. Otherwise, they just want his head. That's what's happening in Galt, right? They only want to kill the leader, they don't want to put in a new government.
Well,
Are these students, have they lived through the times of the bandit houses?
Yes, well, actually, no. They haven't, most of them. It was only until Iravetti that, there was a lot of money in the academy. Before then, our academy was barely anything at all. They've only ever lived under Iravetti.
If they're amenable to it, we are planning on returning Pytax to its old rulership under the bandit houses.
that's one possible.
One
outcome.
possibility.
That would be a difficult ask of the students, to ask them to go back to something they never experienced themselves. They want to create a future, they want to write it themselves. They are the future.
It's very difficult because it seems like what they are writing is a blank parchment thus far.
Well,
I wonder
I'm
if-
asking you if you have ideas. Maybe an enlightened monarchy with a constitution, or some republic of equals, or just something to tell to them so that they have something to go on. Just want to hear what your imagination is for maybe a constitution with the bandit houses or something like that. You know.
The place where I was born and raised definitely falls under sort of a feudal system with monarchs, dukes, territories.
Of course.
It's a rough one. We've been experimenting in our lands, Skillport lands, with sort of a shared leadership. We work as a council of 5 for the most part.
We can
Yes.
definitely implement
That's
something like that
oligarchy.
here. Maybe the academy has a seat or something.
Perhaps, yes. Why don't
I'm
you roll me a
thinking-
society check? Sorry, Kiba.
Basically, what I'm thinking is there has to be some way to bring both the remnants of the Bandit Lords and new ideas of the students together somehow.
Garmesir tries to combine the ideas, but doesn't really come up with anything good. No, that won't do. Does anybody else have any ideas of how we can make this work? That could do it. And it's just nitty-gritty details that, we don't need to, figure out. We're not a student council. Yeah. Parath and Kiba, your ideas do seem to gain fruition about how this could even happen. How the students would be pleased and the bandit houses would, still have the power. You come up with systems and ideas and things that seem to be able to work. Autonomy, buzzwords, all that,
Yes.
At that point, though, she does seem to be satisfied. Well, this is happening. It's happening now. I'll tell the students. I'll try to recruit more from the other, student body. Not all of them know about this. She sort of waves her hand to the underground sort of chamber here. I'll see what I can do. Do you want us to go out now? And gather now?
There'll be a signal.
What sort of signal?
The lighthouse. The one that I don't remember the exact
You're right.
physical geographical location of.
We'll wait for a signal from the lighthouse then. See it from almost everywhere in the city.
That's right.
Very well. This is happening, and happening now.
The wardens seem to be on high alert recently. Be careful.
Oh yes, I know. We'll prepare ourselves, and you should prepare yourselves as well. I have to go organize things.
Best of luck.
And so, as you leave the den of the student body behind there, looking out over the city because the academy's on its own sort of hill, it is a broiling pot of different ideas for a different future for the kingdom of Pitax. But all of them have one thing in common. They want Castruccio out of the way. And you guys are going to be the ones to do that. So, with that all being said, I think that's got to be the end of our session today. We did a lot.
Good.
Maybe next time
Lots
we
of
can.
politics.
Maybe next time we can get into the palace. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I've given you guys opportunities. You can go,
Yep.
you can set things
Whatever
off.
you want.
I've been telling you.
Yeah, not sure when our preparations become extraneous, but it seems we just want to be thorough.
The more the better. The smoother the transition, the better.
Yeah.
The bit with the academy was important because we have to make sure that there's at least something in place
Yeah.
for when it all goes down.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise,
Hey,
it's just
maybe-
gonna be a wreck.
Maybe each location we visit is one less warden in the fight.
Could be. You are getting mechanically significant support here. It's not just, oh yeah, we'll support you. That sort of thing. It's important for you guys. Yeah. Hope you guys had a good time, and those of you watching, I hope you guys had a good time. I know these sessions recently have been a little bit less combat oriented, but it's fun. I like doing different chapters and different phases of things.
I'm sure we're gonna
For
have
sure.
lots of combat soon enough.
Oh, boy.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not the least with Iravetti himself. But yeah. Hope you all enjoyed. If you like the maps for like the Moondock and the Falling Star Inn are all maps I made because Paizo doesn't have any maps for Pitax really. So
They're so good.
yeah, I really
That's 'cause
enjoyed
Pitax
making these
is
ones.
The evil place.
Mm-hmm. Just didn't even go into the back rooms to see the kitchens, the fully modeled kitchens, and back spaces, and pillows everywhere.
We couldn't go
Dishes.
there because we didn't know how to no clip.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Gosh, why didn't we go in the kitchen?
Little back area here. Yeah, I try to make the map so Yeah, I mean, it's people have mentioned almost in my other games, like, you put a lot of detail that we don't exactly need as players into it. But I like to do that because I don't know exactly what the players are going to do, and who knows, maybe another DM wants to run the Pytaxian Wardens running in to the tavern, and there's a combat scene here, you know, that sort of thing. What I like to
Nice.
prepare other DMs for. But yeah,
What's the bathroom in this tavern?
I don't include bathrooms because I'm not as anal retentive as Paizo's devs. But you gotta have a bathroom and everything, and yeah, no, it's fine. That's the kind of detail that's just like, where's the bathroom? Where's the why aren't there enough beds for everyone who would work here? You know, that sort of thing. A lot more work for, yeah. It's still at the end of the day a conceptualization of a space rather than the physical space in reality, I suppose. Like, yeah. Anyway, not making fun of you, Yarmus here, but Patreon.com/says KoboldDM right up there. If I look up, there we go. Yeah. Kiba, you stream.
You bet. I am Chris Kobold, aka Captain Kobold, the player of Kiba, and I stream on Twitch, usually on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 6 o'clock Central Time PM. Retro stuff. Come and stop by sometime. It'll be fun.
Good stuff there. Shifting back to retro from RPGs, as I saw.
Yeah, it just wasn't working.
I think your
I'm
pace is really good with the...
yeah.
Yeah, your pace is really good with the retro stuff. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully.
Have a good one.
We'll see. Giraffe won't be there,
Bye.
Yeah.
but...
Yeah, I won't be here next week.
Oh,
yeah,
what
but I
have a
kinda
fighter
want
for
Giraffe
the
there.
Um,
Yeah, that is true.
that's a tricky one.
I am fine skipping a week.
Yeah, I just want to keep it...
I know, you keep
you
it
know,
going.
For the streams, I like to keep it consistent because it's kind of bad for the algorithm,
Unless
almost.
we
But...
do some more around town still, like the business with the theater.
I'm not going to do another 3 hours of that.
Yeah.
It's good, but we've already had 2 sessions of just politicking, so, like... You guys are completely set up to go take out the Irvetti at this point as well.
I think so.
So, I'm also moving that weekend. We might just take it off. Well,
We
since...
should probably do that, yeah.
We'll do that.
Sounds good.
Or play it by ear. As we-
Moving is a very good and fair excuse.
Yeah. I just took the
Or
day
a
off
flashback
last
one
week.
shot to like some random unexplored part of Stonelands we haven't done.
Nah, that would require work.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I still run 3 other Kingmaker games. I still make maps, and I have to move this week. So it's like, yeah, a fuck ton's going on right now. So either way, probably see you guys the week after this week, then or next week. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you.